For free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's heard in! It's the Anderden Donker who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. João Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
A very good evening and welcome to the home of football. We are back at the Golden Palace that is Molineux. The floodlights are on, but there is still beautiful blue sky above us as we close in on this spring evening. Premier League football is back. Wolves against high-flying, in-form West Ham. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me, as ever, is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, the surely future Hall of Famer, former Nigeria international goalkeeper, and all-round good guy Ikeme. And it's Easter Monday, so we had to bring in the man that gave us one of the most famous Easter Mondays of recent seasons. Dangerous Dave Edwards is with us here as well. Let's get straight to the team news, boys, because there is plenty to discuss. Wolves make 3 changes from the side that starts against Liverpool, the other side of the international break. Out goes Willy Bolly, Johnny and João Martinho. In comes Reine Nouri for his first start since Chelsea away. Leander Dendoncker is back into the starting lineup. And Daniel Podence returns, his first appearance since playing Arsenal at home. He's missed the last 8 as far as Wolves are concerned. You can see there, we are anticipating a change in formation, which will absolutely delight Carl Ikeme because he loves the debate about 4 or 5 at the back. But I'll come to you first, Tomo, for your reaction. First of all, to the players who are missing out. Johnny has a knee injury that Nuno has confirmed to our colleagues in the television that he will be out for the rest of the season, which first and foremost is terribly sad news for him.
Yeah, it's a major blow, isn't it? It's a major blow. So I think that he come back into the side, and you could see there was a difference with him playing at fullback. Yeah, and for him personally, that's a massive blow for him after working so hard, just coming back into it. And I presume it's the same knee again. I think somebody said so. That's going to put him out for another 6-7 months. But yeah, so big loss for us. Say Bolly being out again, another big blow for us coming up against a West Ham side that have been well informed. So it's going to be a difficult evening. But again, you've just got to. He's put his team out there. I think Nuno said that he'd already picked. Was it Martinho? Oh, sorry, Bolly and Johnny for his side, and then all of a sudden he's had to change it again. So that's what the players are there for on the brink of it. Is they've got to come in. Just looking at the bench, quite young bench, but again they've got to go out there and perform. So we're coming towards the end of the season. I know some of us have just said like we're probably glad to get rid of this season with all the injuries and what else has happened this season. But again, they've just got to stick to it and just put in a performance tonight.
Dave Edwards, it's always difficult, isn't it, when you have to make late changes, but to have to make 2 and switch almost from a back 5 to a back 4 in a short space of time, how tough will that be for them to adapt?
Yeah, it will be difficult, but they are fortunate they've played this system quite a few times this year. So the likes of Codes and Romain Saiz, they'll know how to adapt to it. And it does give Wolves a very exciting look up front as well. It's great to have Podence back. I think that's a massive boost. But at the moment, obviously, our thoughts are with Johnny. We're hoping it's not as serious as what it sounds, because it'll be difficult for him to go through the same process of coming back from a big injury. So fingers crossed it's not as what everyone's expecting. But yeah, in terms of the formation, 4-2-3-1 against West Ham, a side which isn't really going to dominate possession against us, I think it will set up the tie nicely.
Ikeme, that's a great point, isn't it? Because a lot of people will look at the defensive setup for Wolves today, and maybe we should focus more on the fact that we have all 4 attackers in there to try and go and get goals.
Yeah, I think it's difficult with Johnny. I think we've seen a massive difference in the team since Johnny has been back. We've been singing his praises since he has come back as well. He's starting to look like the old Johnny. He made a massive influence on the team. Just the balance he brings, the experience he brings, the defensive element he brings to the Wolves team had been missed throughout the season, and we did pick up results when he did start to come back. So that's a disappointing. Obviously, we're all devastated for Johnny, but it's not a flip side because there's no good news to back onto that. But it is good to have Podence back. I think he is another option which we have been missing. Traore's hit a little bit of better form throughout the past 4 weeks as well, and it is an exciting front line going forward. I think there's always going to be a discussion with the defence, with the 4 at the back. There was discussions before. I think it's out of necessity this time for Nuno. But obviously missing Bailey is unfortunate, but Romain Saiss has done pretty well this season, in all honesty, when he's played there. And I don't think there'll be a massive issue there. I think it gives us a lot going forward. I just like to see how we're going to deal with possession. As you said, West Ham are not a massive possession-based team. I'd really like to see us move that ball well and get it into the likes of Podence in a number 10 position where he can turn and start to run at West Ham.
Edo, you've obviously played a lot of 4-2-3-1 in your Wolves career. How different will it be for Ruben Neves and Leander Dendoncker in the role that they'll be expected to play today without that extra player behind them?
I think it just means they have to be a little bit more disciplined. I think as that middle 4, you look at Saiss, Coates, Neves and Dendoncker, that 4 needs to stay in the middle of the pitch all the time. Can't really get Dendoncker running into the box or Neves making the box. They've got to back up play more than anything and just let the front 4 and maybe one of the fullbacks go and try and make things happen. So when the ball is cleared, they can just recycle possession and start again. We can't empty the middle of the pitch because that is one place where on the turnover of possession, West Ham will be good. They can counter-attack fast with the likes of Lingard and Antonio. So that is something that we'll have to control. So it'll be a much more disciplined performance. And I expect them to, that almost suits Ruben Neves in particular, that he can just sit behind the ball and try and get on it a little bit more. Dendoncker can just go about his normal. I actually watched him against Wales for Belgium, and he played a very similar role in that system. They played 3-4-3 and he was a defensive midfielder, and he was brilliant on that night. So it's something they can comfortably do. But it is exciting seeing those front 4 players, and hopefully they can go on and put on a bit of a show, because you look at, in particular, West Ham's midfield. I know Souček has been really good, but they got Mark Noble in there tonight. And if Podence can get in and around him and try and play off his shoulder, there'll be massive opportunities for us to attack their back 3.
Tomo, when you look at the fullbacks as well, we know that they're going to go forward. And Edo has talked there about if those central 4 for Wolves, the back 2 and the 2 in midfield, kind of protect, that gives license, does it not, for Semedo and Aït-Nouri to get up? And given the fact they've got Neto and Traore as well, that's a lot of numbers to attack with in wide areas.
Well, it is, and so like you're hoping that they're going to support the wide men up front, the 2 fullbacks, and just get up there. But again, they just need to be careful playing with that flat back 4. They just need to be careful what times they actually go and join in with that attacking force that Wolves have got. But look, he's gone with a very attack-minded strike force. He's hoping that they're going to cause a problem. For me as well, the ball's got to stick up there. It's got to stay up there for us. I think that's where we can do a lot of damage to West Ham, if we can retain possession of the ball and keep it up there. They've got Declan Rice out as well, who's an important player for them. So there's opportunities in that central midfield area as well, that hopefully we can dominate with Neves and Dendoncker. But look, say Podence coming back is a massive boost as well in the front line to help out. And we're just hoping that, say, Neto coming back off from that international duty and Traore hopefully going to keep firing is going to cause West Ham a problem. And look, say, we know what happened when we played West Ham earlier on in the season. Totally got dominated by them. Hopefully it's going to be a reversal tonight.
I think also, just to add to that, add what Edo was saying about Dendoncker's role, it's important to get the balance right, because I agree that it's important for them 4 to stay solid in the centre of the pitch. The beauty of having Dendoncker in there is that he can break to get in the box, so it's important that if he does go, that the fullbacks make sure one of the fullbacks make sure they're staying in as well, because I think having Dendoncker on the pitch, and you talk about Mark Noble and Declan Rice being out, is the fact that Dendoncker can run box to box. So I think it's about balance in this formation. I don't think we found that balance all the time when we have played the four at the back.
It's about the timing as well, isn't it, Carl? It's about the timing of his runs, isn't it? That's going to be important.
Exactly.
We don't get left short in there.
Exactly. When he does go, that we make sure we get the cover, because I think that is the beauty of having Dendoncker in there. He's a box-to-box player, and he can get goals if he gets in the box. So I wouldn't be telling him to break his neck to get in the box every time, but he's trying to pick your moments when to go.
It's going to be fascinating, isn't it, boys? Because this is a big 9 games now towards the end of the season. You know, this international break, yes, it probably didn't come at a great time, and the fact that a lot of players have had to play a lot of games squeezed into that international break, Tomo. But now we kind of know this is the stretch now towards the end of the campaign. They've got to make sure that they don't just let this peter out now. Go out there and see what they can achieve.
Well, look, there's no doubting about the ability in the squad. So, like you, again, we're just talking about the front line that Wolves have got. That will cause anybody a problem in this league. And, yeah, they've just got to go out there. So, like, the games that they've got left, they've got to go out there and perform. They've got to go out there and make sure they don't concede early goals or concede that first goal, because that's been a big setback in most games that we've played, that we have been chasing the game. I just think as well, so look, you look at the team, you look at the squad that we've had. It's been a difficult year. It's been, for one reason or another, with the long season last year, coming in, the injuries and so on with the COVID. It's been a difficult year, but we've just got to try and finish off this season. Now, I know Nuno's been talking about, I think 11th place is the lowest that he's finished when he's been a manager. And I just think that he's got to be looking now to try and push this team on a little bit more now. And it'd be nice if Willian can get his first goal as well.
I wonder, Dave Edwards, how much it might help Willian Jose having Daniel Podence in that role behind him to maybe play slightly different passes than he's been getting.
Yeah, there's that element to it as well. But also, Podence, he occupies defenders with his movement, his runs. He's like a bottle of fizzy pop, just waiting to go off, isn't he? He pops up in areas where you wouldn't expect him, even when he's supposed to be playing on the left wing. You'll see him on the right wing, and from that number 10 position, have a lot of freedom. So he'll naturally occupy some of the West Ham centre halves, and that just might mean Jose might just get a little bit more space. And I think he's done reasonably well since he's been at Wolves, but he just needs that goal to really kickstart it. So hopefully he'll get that tonight. When you're talking there about the last 9 games, not wanting the season to peter out, I think you've got to remember a lot of these Wolves players, that they're playing for their positions in the Euros in the summer. So they won't want to be resting on their laurels. The likes of Codes and all the Portuguese boys, they'll be wanting to do well, finish the season strongly, so they can go into that tournament in good form, and hopefully the national team manager can see they're doing well. So it is a big finish of the season for most of the lads.
Right, let's pause our Wolves chat for a moment and focus on our opponents tonight, because they have been absolutely flying this season. After one of their worst Premier League finishes last campaign, David Moyes really turned things around this year. And of course, people forget they actually lost their opening 2 matches of the season and then had the big win against Wolves back in September to get it started. Joining us on Matchday Live Extra tonight is the former West Ham defender Paul Konchesky, who will be with us very shortly indeed. Paul, great to have you with us here on Wolves TV. What's been the difference, do you think, for West Ham this season? Because I think they're 22 points better off than the same stage last year.
Yeah, evening, guys. I just think that the manager obviously has been there before, but he's the way he likes to play. He's got the players now that he wants, and that benefit his style of football, if you like.
They're obviously, they've managed to work out ways of getting results, haven't they? And increasingly against the bigger teams. I mean, that Arsenal game was a crazy football match in many respects. What's impressed you most about what they've done this year?
I think Souček is a massive signing for West Ham. He puts his head in places that you don't really see midfielders doing these days. He likes to get in the attacking box, but he also defends as well. So I think he's been a massive hit, and playing alongside Declan Rice and Antonio up top with the goals.
Oh, How are you doing to start off with? Do you think that, I know the West Ham fans are great, but they have had a little bit of trouble adapting to their new stadium? Thinking of playing at Upton Park, it was probably one of the best atmospheres I played in, but coming to the new stadium, it's not quite been that. Do you think the year out with the fans has possibly helped the team settle a little bit more at home?
Evening, Carl. You okay, mate? Yeah, I've been asked this question loads of times, but like you say, you know what West Ham fans are like. They're right on top of the players. They want the best for the players, but sometimes it's too much pressure. And I think them fans being away from the stadium now has helped not play under pressure, if you like. It's a bit more freedom, and I think obviously this season has helped them massively.
Yeah, Paul. So look, how much of a loss is Declan Rice going to be for them tonight? So I know he's instrumental in everything that they've done. He's had another great season, but how much are they going to miss him?
Yeah, he's a massive hit. You know, he's only a young boy, but I think they rely on him quite a bit. He's took the captaincy off Mark Noble. He's led the team like he's an old player. So the influence he's going to have on the dressing room and on the pitch is going to be massive for West Ham tonight. But like we say, Mark Noble's coming back in, the captain of the club. He's very experienced, and hopefully he can just sit in there like Declan does.
Do you think, Paul, do you think Declan having such a great season, but West Ham having a great season on top of that is a problem for possibly keeping Declan going forward?
Listen, Declan's done really well this year, and I think if the club hadn't been so successful so far, it might have been someone coming in for Declan. But I think as a young boy, he's playing really well. They could go fourth tonight if they win. And he's captain of the football club. He's captained every game this season. So that's a massive hit for West Ham to try and keep him in that way.
There's always an element there, and I'm looking towards Dave Edwards here on having a senior midfielder around. We talk about Mark Noble coming in. There's a place for senior midfielders, isn't there, Edo?
I'm not sure. Obviously, he's very similar to what I'm going through at the moment, and whether you like it or not, your legs do start to go, and you can't play every single game. And I think West Ham are really lucky to have someone like him at the club who's going to be happy to play that bit part role and come on in games and use his experience. And what a great mentor for Declan Rice to have. You talk about him becoming one of the top players, having someone who's West Ham through and through like Mark Noble to kind of show the way for him. I think he'll benefit from that massively. Probably I'd say the most impressed I've been with a West Ham player at the moment is probably Jesse Lingard. Paul, how important has he been since he's come to the club, do you think?
Yeah, I think he's been massive, Dave. You know, I think he's had something to prove. Obviously not playing much football at Manchester United. He's obviously still got England ambitions, and he's trying to prove to people that he's still a good footballer. And I think he's hit the ground running. I think he's scored 4 in 6 games, if you like, a couple of assists. Just for himself, that's massive. But I think that's a massive hit for West Ham, and he played a massive part in the running.
Yeah.
Paul, while we've got you on, there's some interesting elements from your old position really today, because from West Ham's point of view, it looks like they might have gone to a back 5 with Cresswell tucking in and Masuaku coming in. And then from Wolves have gone the other way and gone to the back 4 with Johnny now being out injured and a youngster in Ryan Aït-Nouri coming in. How interesting is those battles going to be in those left back and left wing back areas?
Yeah, I think, you know, before Arthur got injured, West Ham played a back 5 quite a bit. But when in a back 4, I think you're more comfortable. But West Ham can adapt with both players. But like you say, for Wolves, I think that's a big miss. Johnny's been injured. He's been influential in their side. But the manager must trust that young player, you know, because he won't put him in such a massive game tonight, and he must trust him, and only time will tell.
What would you prefer, wing back or out and out left back?
Well, on today's game, for me, left back, too old for that now. But no, listen, I didn't mind. I like getting up and down, but I think as a wing back now, you're more of a winger than a left back now. So I think you need to have that bit of both, but more the influential wing side.
I was about to say, I'm sure I seen you hit an absolute corker. Molineux actually for Leicester. I don't know if I was actually playing. I'm not sure if I was playing that game. Top, you did actually against
I didn't
me.
want to bring that up.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, you did. Now, yeah, just reminded me. Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, you're definitely left back. Definitely left winger with that left foot, mate.
Paul, what do you reckon tonight then overall? Which way are you looking? Obviously, West Ham have been in such good form, but they haven't had a great record coming here to Molineux of recent years.
No, I think it's a tough game. It's always hard going to Molineux, but even harder without no fans as well. But I think it's going to be a tough game for West Ham. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Okay. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us, Paul. Stay safe and well.
You too. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, Paul, mate.
Thank you, mate. Paul Konchesky joining us here on Wolves TV. I also saw Carl Ikeme smiling when he said about running up and down, knowing that his position, he didn't need to move around.
Mate, you disrespected my position, mate. I was moving a lot in that game.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because, West Ham going to a back five, they played that really well, Tomo, against Wolves earlier on in the season. And they kind of matched up to the way Wolves were that day. So, they got Antonio onto Cody. They got Bowen, who's not involved in the starting lineup tonight, up against, I think it was Romain Saiss or whoever was in there. Do you know what I mean? And so you look at them tonight and you go, actually, them going to a back five and doing something slightly different might be an opportunity for Wolves to get to them.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that you can see what the manager's done now. He's put a very offensive team out. So he's looking to try and push them back as much as possible, but also create opportunities. And I just think that the way that he's gone about it, they've got to be careful about Antonio. So there's no doubt about it. He'll be putting himself around and about Connor Cody. He'll be trying to hold that ball up and have runners coming off him, Lingard as well. So, look, it's going to be a difficult evening. So, look, I think that West Ham are in good form. But, as I said earlier, we've got more than enough to cause a problem to anybody in this division. I know West Ham have had a decent season already, but, again, I think it's time that Wolves start to put things together. Been set back a little bit with injuries and one thing or another. But I'm expecting a high-energy performance tonight from Wolves.
Also, I think West Ham will probably anticipating Wolves to be setting up the way we normally do as well. So yeah. it'd be difficult for them to adjust to a new formation that they might not have worked on for parts of the week as well. So I think, like Edo said earlier, we have played this formation before. It's not new to us. I don't know how often West Ham have played this formation throughout the season, so it's a chance. It's a thing for them adjusting to us as well. So I think that would be have some influence on the game, is because if it doesn't go well for them, then they're gonna have to sort of make substitutions or changes to revert back to the way they've been playing for most of the season.
One of the elements about the Wolves lineup today that we don't know for certain is which side Dave Edwards, Pedro Neto and Adama Traore will play. In recent games, they've kind of been at the inverted, the left footer coming from the right footer coming from the left. Obviously, in your latter days at Wolves, you had kind of Helder Costa doing that similar thing, that Pedro Neto coming from that side. Do you think they'll stay like that? Or will they, having Podence there now, does that suggest maybe they'll go back to the natural right and left footers on their natural flanks and try and use the width a bit?
I do think they'll swap and change through the game. I think obviously both of them, play better on the right hand side. I think Neto, the way he plays, he's a bit like Helder in respect to when he is on the right hand side, it means he can go both ways because he's that dangerous to cut in on his left and shoot, but he's also got that quick turn of pace where he can knock it down the line, then just stand the ball up. I think his right foot is very good actually. I think Adama does get lost out on that left wing though. It's almost like he wants to knock it down the line, but he doesn't quite have the confidence then to go with his left foot. Whereas on the right-hand side, you know exactly what he's doing. He's trying to stop the defender, quick touch out with his right foot, then get the cross in. So it wouldn't surprise me if it is Neto who starts on the left. But I imagine all of them three, including Podence, I think they'll be quite free-flowing today and there'll be lots of movement. And hopefully that can cause a bit of confusion in West Ham because you say they've gone to the back three for the first time in a while. You look at Dawson in the middle of it, he's a brilliant person at attacking the ball in both boxes, but he won't like the pace and the movement running behind. Cresswell more naturally a left back, so there's definitely going to be areas where Wolves can hurt them with that pace.
Let's talk about Pedro Neto, because there's no doubt he's an exceptional talent, Carl Ikeme, but we are in this position where it is 1 goal in his last 19 appearances. There's no doubt, I think, that he's maybe missed Podence in the last 8 games, being in there to maybe shoulder some of the burden of getting involved in the play. Are we at a point, or is it too early, to start expecting a little bit more goal return?
I think he puts enough pressure on himself to ask for more goals. I think he's chipped in with his fair amount of goals. I know he's not been as prolific as lately, but he's brought a lot more to the team. Anyway, with assists, I think we've been calling on the other players to get involved in the goal scoring, to not rely on the likes of Neto and Traore, and they have done, to be honest. Neves has been scoring, Martino has been scoring goals, Saïs popped in with a few goals. Like, we've been calling for others to be scoring, and they have. I think that I don't think anyone puts as much pressure as themselves as him. He wants to be the best. He wants to play at the top level he can, and I think he will do eventually. But I think he brings a lot to the team. He's always creating chances, and he's sort of our go-to man when we want something to happen. But it is good to have Podence back, to be honest, like you said, to sort of shoulder some of that responsibility as well, because he did score a few goals at the start of the season and was creating chances for us. But because Neto was doing so well, a lot of teams were just focusing on him then, where if you got sort of all 3 of them that are goal threat. And what I agree with Edo said earlier, I think Willian's done well, but he does need to start scoring goals as well. So if the more threats we're going forward, I think the more goals we'll get for all of them. But it is important that Podence is back on the pitch for Neto as well.
We'll come back to some of our chat about where the goals are going to come from tonight, but you might have been aware across our Wolves social media channels and on Wolves TV yesterday there was a superb result for Wolves women. 4 months without a game, back in action in the second round of the FA Cup, and a quite brilliant victory over Nottingham Forest from the division above. And delighted to say that joining us here on Matchday Live Extra is the head coach of Wolves Women, Dan McNamara. Dan, great to have you with us here on Wolves TV again. Have you calmed down from the emotion that ran through you at the end of the game yesterday?
Hi, mate. How you doing? Good to be here. Yeah, you can probably hear it in my voice. My voice is slowly starting to come back. But yeah, no, it was just a fantastic occasion for everyone involved with the Women and Girls programme yesterday. And it was just amazing to get it out there to all those fans that tuned in.
Was the pressure on the girls going into it? Because everybody talked about the incredible season that you'd been on before everything got cut short. And then having our cameras there as well was a real chance to kind of go out and show everybody what you've been doing. Yeah,
I think, it adds. I tried to take the pressure off the girls, but it's always there, isn't it? It was all the cameras there when we turned up. We thought it was normally just my VO camera that's up, but all the cameras are there. There was presenters, and it was just a fantastic occasion. And I said to them in the dressing room, I said, I want you to take this statement out onto the pitch. And it was, we've got nothing to prove, but everything to show. And I think they did that in abundance yesterday. I thought the girls were absolutely fantastic, rose to the occasion. And, they gave a really good show of themselves to hopefully what was a really healthy audience.
I was saying to Tomo earlier when we were setting up that it was just a genuinely enjoyable football match. I'm not sure how enjoyable it was for you involved in it on the touchline, but for those of us watching, it was just a really entertaining game.
Yeah, I think if you wanted, first time on Wolves TV, if you wanted a game to go that kind of way, it was perfect, wasn't it? You had all the drama, the penalties. For myself, I would have been happy if we'd have taken a couple of the chances, maybe in the 90 minutes and put the game to bed. And I think today, some of the girls, the way they're feeling and probably walking, they also would have liked to have took some of the chances, because 3.5 months off and then 120 minutes has not been too kind to them, to be honest.
It was on Keems.
I was just going to say, just talking about the cameras being there and the game being entertaining. How important was that moment that the cameras were there to catch that, and it got the publicity that a lot of women's football deserves but doesn't always get. And we talk about sort of pushing women's football. I think when me and Edda was at Wolves, there was issues with the women's football team as well. But how important was that moment yesterday into bringing Wolves women's football on the local level, because we've all got a job to do locally, even though we're trying to do it on a national stage?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I've talked a lot over the last few weeks, about moments that we've been denied together as a group. We all know we're in competitive sport for all those moments. So to have one of them with the girls to share was absolutely amazing. It was Perks' 300th appearance sort of celebration. Jeff kindly presented her shirt to her. It was a birthday weekend as well, so that was great for Anna. But yeah, as I said, we've been cruelly taken away those moments. The reasons you're involved in football have been taken away from us for far too long now. So to share something together and for it to all come together, with Wolves TV there and everything like that, it was just amazing. And I said, I did a little piece with Tim earlier on, and I said to Tim, it's about the moments that reunite you in years to come. When we see Anna Price and walking around Wolves in 15 years, they're the kind of moments you share together. And I'm just delighted we've managed to get one, and hopefully we can get many more in the years to come.
Because it's that element, isn't it? Like, Dave Edwards, I know you've got a daughter. It's that element of, if you can see it, you can be it. And hopefully there will be the future generations of Wolves women who've seen that game and gone, I want to get involved in that.
Yeah, there's been a massive shift, isn't there, in the last sort of, I'd say 10 years or so, which has really brought women's football to the forefront, but still got a long way to go. I know there's the new TV deals out there for the higher levels of women's football, but I think the grassroots stuff which is going on now is incredible. I only see from dropping my kids off at school the amount of young girls wearing football shirts, and when you go to the local football training, the amount of girls teams there is, it really is incredible. It's come this far. So it's good that Wolves, the football club, is a centre of the community, that they're embracing their women's football team, because there'll be so many young girls out there now who will have seen yesterday. They've been able to tune in and watch it, and that'll be amazing for them. They can really go on from there and look at joining football clubs and one day wanting to play for Wolves themselves. But one thing I will ask you quickly is, though, how on earth did you keep them all fit during lockdown? That 120 minutes was a big ask yesterday.
No, it's a great question. I think a lot of credit goes to the staff. We've got some great S&C coaches that have been working hard at them. I think everyone's bored of Zoom calls, aren't they? But the girls have been fantastic on them. It's Zoom calls twice a week, and then obviously when the restrictions allowed, we started doing some one-to-ones. But we really put the onus on them, and I think the girls have got to be given a lot of credit, because over the 2 games we've played in the last week, we've been, dare I say, head and shoulders above the opposition with regards to fitness. So they've got to take a lot of credit for the ownership that they've placed on the programs that they've done together away from the club.
How difficult has it been for you not to have that actual contact on the training grounds? Has it been difficult for you and the girls?
Yeah, 100%. Again, anybody involved in football knows when you spend that long with people, you do form relationships and bonds, and you do miss, being together and the camaraderie and the banter that it brings. And I said to the girls in the dressing room yesterday, before the game even started, just being back together and connecting as a group and regrouping, that was enough for me. Anything else here is a bonus, because it's only when it gets taken away from you, you realise just how much of a big part of your life it plays. So, it was just an all-round, you couldn't have asked for it to be any better yesterday. It was just an amazing experience, and we get to do it all again at Watford away this weekend.
So your nerves have settled down a bit then?
Well, yeah.
Dan, when I was leaving yesterday, I did hear the strains of Adele coming from the dressing room in shades of Chorley's FA Cup run. I want to know, were you in there singing as well?
I can't deny or disclose that information very much.
I wonder whether that's why the voice has gone, because you were singing so loud afterwards.
I'm surprised you couldn't hear me.
What's going to happen this week then, mate? Obviously, you've got a couple of training sessions and then ready to go again and keep that season alive.
Yeah. We've got we're back in at Compton tomorrow night. Yeah, we've got session tomorrow evening, and then same again on Thursday. And as you said, it's just about keeping the season alive. We've got a fixture programme after the FA Cup. I said on Wolves TV yesterday, I didn't put one in this weekend because I had full confidence that the girls would produce, and they certainly did. So, yeah, look, Watford's going to be a completely different opposition. They've got some unbelievable players down at Watford, and to travel down there, it'll be difficult. We've obviously still not allowed changing rooms within our current guidance from the government. So getting off a bus and almost going straight onto the pitch, that's going to offer its own challenges. But look, we're just delighted to be back together. Seeing the girls smiling back on the pitch, and we'll just embrace that and start preparing for what will hopefully be a full and successful season next year.
Well, you've set the way and set the standards for the men's team to follow tonight. I know you're very interested in what goes on, and you like to try and replicate it. It's all part of the Wolves way. Changed it from the 5 at the back tonight to go to the 4 at the back. Are you hopeful of what Nuno's team can produce this evening?
Yeah, I love watching Wolves. I think they're when they get into gear, they're a fantastic team to watch and quite attacking. I'd love to see William Jose open his account tonight. Let's get that going and move forward with that. But no, I think we should be hopeful of a good result tonight.
Dan, stay there because I'm going to get a prediction from you in just a second. But just a final word from these boys before we get ready for kick-off. Carl Ikeme, who are you expecting to be the key player tonight?
I believe I'm not going to say one key player, but I think the middle of the park, Neves and Dendonka's got a big say in how things go tonight. I think we've got a lot of attacking players on the pitch, but I also think the way we defend is going to be important, and the balance we have going forward and coming back. And I think that needs to be dictated by them two in the middle of the park. So I think them two are a key role in what we do tonight to get that balance right, because we've not always had the balance of attacking in the 4 and defending at the same time. And I think that's an important shift in a West Ham team that's been doing really well.
Edo, where's your key battle tonight?
I think it'll be our mate Connor Cody. I think Antonio will see Codes as someone he'll try and get himself physically up against and try and pin him and try and use his strength. But if Codes can be clever with that and almost come out of that battle on top, then that's a big threat of theirs gone. I think in the last sort of month, 2 months, Codes has all of a sudden become one of our main attacking threats off set pieces. He's had chances in every single game in the last sort of 3 or 4. Obviously got his goal at Man City, should have scored at Villa. So he's someone that the bigger markers for West Ham won't necessarily pick up off set pieces. So hopefully he can get himself free and get one in at the other end as well.
Tomo,
I think it's going to be straight down the middle, down the spine. I think the 2 lads at the back are going to have to play well. 2 midfielders are going to have to be creative and make sure the timings are right. But I think Dent's just in front of them. I presume that he's just going to be playing just a little bit deeper, just behind William. So I think straight down that middle is going to be important for us this evening.
Right. Obviously, we're going to have the light show in just a second, so it's going to get very loud. But before we get going into it, Dan, we have this prediction challenge all season. I am destroying the pundits this year. None of them can get anywhere close to me in terms of predictions. Look at Carl Ikeme's face. He knows it. He knows that.
I want to leave already.
So these boys need your help. What are you going for tonight?
We go 2-1. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, but I think they'll win the game. 2-1.
2-1. Go on, Tomo.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Dan. 2-1. I think both teams will score, but I think Wolves just edge it 2-1.
Shocker that Tomo's agreeing with one of our guests. Dave Edwards.
I'm going to go 3-1 Wolves with a Jose brace.
Oh, I love that. Specific as well. Carl Ikeme.
I'm going 1-0 just because you want to choose it.
Yeah, definitely.
No other reason. I don't care about getting it right. I don't want you to choose it.
I'm really torn now because 2-1 and 3-1 are gone. So I think West Ham will score, but I'm going to have to say 2-0 Wolves just because you've stolen 1-0 as well. And I can't not predict Wolves to win. This is an absolute scandal. These are tactics that have been used to try and get me to lose this week. Dan, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And congratulations again for you and the girls. What a wonderful performance, and good luck next weekend.
Well done, Dan.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the season.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, all. Cheers.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Dan McNamara, the head coach of Wolves Women. You can check out some of the highlights and the reaction across the Wolves social media channels of everything that went on yesterday. It was a dramatic game. It was a privilege to be there, and they did everybody proud who's involved with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Right, hopefully the men are going to take up that baton and go forwards and take it to West Ham tonight. What will happen, we'll find out in the next couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. First half is coming next on Wolves TV, Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Here it is! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Back from the international break for the final stretch of the season, Wolves take on a West Ham side having their best campaign since 1986. And after the 4-0 result in September, another win tonight would be their first league double over the Old Gold in nearly a century. Nuno's side are looking for their first win in 5, but have an impressive home record against the Hammers, having won both Molineux meetings since promotion. There are 3 changes from the side that started against Liverpool before the international break. Out goes Willy Bolly, Johnny and João Moutinho. In comes Aït-Nouri, Dendoncker and Podence. Daniel Podence, having missed the last 8 games through injury. It's his first appearance since the win over Arsenal here at Molineux. It means a change to a back 4 tonight with Rui Patricio fit to start in goal after his head injury against the Liverpool. Nelson Semedo, Connor Cody, Romain Saiss and Rayan Aït-Nouri, that 4 at the back. Leander Dendoncker in alongside Ruben Neves in midfield. Daniel Podence playing in the 10. Pedro Neto and Adama Traore either side of Willian Jose. For West Ham, they have Lucas Fabianski in goal, and then we expect a back 5, a back 3 of Issa Diop, Craig Dawson and Aaron Cresswell, with Vladimir Kufal and Arthur Masuaku as the wing-backs. Thomas Souček partnered by Mark Noble in midfield. Pablo Fornals and Jesse Lingard, the chief support to Mikel Antonio up top. We are nearly ready to go. Molineux is waiting. And hopefully there will be a big performance to come from those in old gold, black shorts, gold socks. Wolves will play from right to left as we look at it first half, defending the Sir Jack Hayward South Bank away to the right-hand side, attacking the Stan Cullis North Bank away to the left. And we are underway here at Molineux. West Ham in their traditional claret and blue shirts with white shorts and white socks. And Andy Thompson, it will be fascinating to see whether there's any rustiness, any tired legs from their international exertions, whether Wolves can just get themselves going and get fighting for the end of the season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important that they actually take the game to West Ham. So look, they don't just sit back on that. I presume that Wolves will have quite a bit of possession, but it's going to be important what they do with it. I think the supply up to those front lads is going to be important, making sure they get on there, but making sure that they take care of Antonio as well, because he's been instrumental in everything that they've done. So look, he's a strong player. So that's going to be a good battle with him and Conor Cody and Saiss.
This is Aït-Nouri for Neves on halfway, wide to the left-hand side to Traore, who has started on the left with Neto on the right. Always work backwards to Saiss. Short sleeves, but gloves on tonight for the Moroccan. Just about evaded Antonio with his pass across field.
Oh dear. Oh, sure, a few hearts were in some of his mares there. So look, it was close, wasn't it, for him to get the possession of the ball. Antonio from Saiss's pass.
Neves with a 1-2 with Dendoncker, and now looking downfield. Neto has popped up in a central position. The ball will be switched out to Pedence, who's effectively playing in the right back role. Semedo ahead of him. Here is Semedo on the turn and driving forwards, finding Pedence out on the right-hand side, trying to drill the ball in towards Willian Jose. Jose on the turn and striking, and just couldn't find the bottom corner. And it's behind for a goal kick, an early opportunity for the Brazilian. He worked it superbly well to get it onto his right foot and spinning. Just couldn't quite find the bottom corner.
Oh, what a great ball from Pedence, though. So straight to his feet, driven it hard and low across the floor. I think he's made a load of time for himself. It's great first touch. Take it past Dawson. I think he'll be disappointed with that. Once he sees that, he'll think that he's got to at least hit the target. It's an opportunity for him.
It was maybe a little bit close to his left foot, wasn't it? He was trying to get it out of the way as he span to try and strike the ball.
But he worked it so well, didn't he, with his first touch just to get away from Dawson. So look, it's again, so look, he's after that first goal for Wolves. And I think that he'll think that probably could have been the one.
We talk about the difference in potential service to him as well tonight. I think that's a point worth making in the debate about Willian Jose. This is his 11th appearance, and the fact that Fabio Silva has had opportunities coming on in games, but Wolves have tended to be playing slightly differently towards the end of games. Here's Antonio, though, for West Ham, away from Dendoncker and striking from distance, and it hits the post and cleared away by Romain Saiss. Rui Patricio may well have got a touch on this. It was a fabulous effort from Antonio, striking towards goal, and Patricio at full stretch to his right-hand side. Antonio got away from Dendoncker, cutting in field.
Yeah.
And I think there is fingertips from Patricio to deny him.
I'll tell you what, it's a good save from Patricio. But talk about Antonio, so look, just getting that ball off, and then Dendonker's got to do better in that central position. I think he got away from him a little bit too easily for me. And all of a sudden, then he's running at our back line. Yeah, he's got a touch to it. Good save from Patricio. But that's come from him having that little bit of space, Antonio. We've got to be picking him up. Give him too much time on there.
Now Neto, trying to get away, and he was caught there by Craig Dawson. And it was 10 yards over the halfway line. Dawson's going to get a yellow card. Neto would have been away there, and I know it's a long, long way away from goal, but he's made no attempt to play the ball.
No, he hasn't. He's been clever as well, Neto. He's just flicked it over his head, and he's away from him.
They might have argued that Issa Diop was
he was just running in the central
position.
Yeah.
There's Neves for Wolves. Plenty of action then in the opening 4 minutes. Both sides having good opportunities on goal. It's Dendoncker, low across the centre circle to the right-hand side of it to Neto. He's got Semedo out on the touchline, plays a 1-2 with Willian Jose. Now finding Semedo, back to Neto. Being chased all the way by Mark Noble. He has to play it back into his own half to his captain, Connor Cody. Played one of England's 3 games. Did well in the match he played as well.
Yeah, he did. He said he's done himself no harm at all.
Now then, here's Neto on the right-hand side. Flag has stayed down as Neto runs towards the right side of the penalty area, checks back on his left foot, tries to lift his cross in. Souček's header goes high in the air. Semedo will get to the loose ball, tees it up for Dendonku, chips it towards the far post in the direction of Pedence, but Kufal got there across in front of him. And West Ham have managed to work their way out from a tricky position, and Lingard carrying it over the halfway line. Antonio making the run ahead of him, but Lingard might well go all alone here. Jesse Lingard finds the bottom corner. Driving through, he ran from inside his own half and allowed to carve open the Wolves defence. Got it onto his left foot, and from around 14 yards out, waited for Patricio to come flying out towards him and lifted it over him with his left foot into the bottom right-hand corner. And West Ham are in front after less than 6 minutes played.
Well, that's come from an attacking position from us as well. Antonio's just run Connor Cody away with his diagonal run, but we've got to try and get that second ball from the edge of the box. That's where we got hurt, not winning that ball. Lingard's basically run from just inside his own half. It just all opened up for him, and you know what, with the confidence and the technique that he's got, just placed it past Patricio with his left foot, little dink. But yes, they've got to do better. So we talk about not giving away early goals and then to give it away on our attack as well.
Well, he is in the form of his life, Jesse Lingard, since his loan move from Manchester United. He has continued 6 goals now in 8 appearances. He averages a goal or an assist every 88 minutes for West Ham. There's Neves wide for Adama Traore, who would love those kind of stats. Traore trying to lift it into the box, away by Diop. Aït-Nouri first the loose ball. Referee almost got in his way. He manages to run into the penalty area and strikes it across goal and just evades the far post. Not a bad effort or a bad response from Wolves here to going behind.
No, it's not. So it's not as if we haven't had any chances. You had the chance from Willian earlier on, and that's a good chance from Aït-Nouri there. Just opened it up onto his left foot. Oh.
Reminiscent of his debut goal against Crystal Palace. Just couldn't quite find the corner this time.
Fabianski's just rooted, isn't he? So look, he's nowhere near it.
Almost.
So it
skims a lick of paint off the post.
Yeah. So it's not as if the Wolves have not created opportunities for themselves, but they've got to be so careful about that counter attack. I think they did exactly the same down at West Ham, where they caught us on the counter attack. Just got to be so careful.
Yeah, Wolves dominated possession that night at the London Stadium. I think West Ham had 5 efforts on target and scored 4 goals, which will tell you part of the story at least. I don't think Wolves looked particularly threatening with the possession they had in that game, if we're being entirely fair.
No, and so that's the difference. So they've been very clinical in the games that we played this year against them. As I said there, we had quite a bit of possession against West Ham at theirs, and they still score those goals, and that's where we've got to do better against them.
Neves trying to hit one long towards Pedence. Diop's header forwards. Noble ahead of Traore, finding Kufal out on the right-hand touchline. It's worked its way forwards to Antonio. Fornals on again for Antonio, and across comes Cody. Antonio running to the byline. Cody stayed with him, blocked the cross, but at the expense of a corner.
Again, you can just see the pace of them, can't you? They just get that out of that press from Wolves, and all of a sudden that strike force of Lingard and Antonio are away.
It is early in the game, just under 9 minutes played. Wolves have had 73% possession. There's been 2 shots on goal each. Both of West Ham's were on target. Lingard's found the back of the net.
Well, they got let off with a good save from Patricio earlier on, didn't they, from Antonio? Good save.
Will be Cresswell with the corner, left-footed from the right-hand side in front of the South Bank. Everybody back defending for Wolves. Neto 10 yards away from the corner taker, trying to block the route to the near post. Cresswell whipping it in dangerously. Came off the head of Neves to the edge of the box, and Willian Jose has brought this down nicely and now finds Traore. Pedence was taken down off the ball, and then Traore is wiped out by Issa Diop, and he's going to get a yellow card. So that's 2 of the defensive 3 for West Ham already in the referee's notebook in the opening 10 minutes. And Mark Noble might well get a yellow card for something off the ball, maybe. Conversation going on. I think he's just getting a warning as Pedence makes his protest known.
I think that's what you call professional fouls, what the 2 of them with Dawson and Diop have just had. Wolves on the break, and all of a sudden they just bring that player down so he can't go any further.
There's Cody. I've talked about this before, Tomo, where I feel like there should be an orange card or a sin bin of some kind for players who do that, who just deliberately pull players back when they're breaking forwards.
Well, you touched on it there. Neither of them have gone for the ball, have they? Neither of them made an attempt to get the ball. They've just gone for the player and just brought him down. And yeah, you don't want to see that in the game, Sellocan. But we know it goes on because they know that they're just going to get a yellow card for it.
Dendoncker trying to switch the play. Direction of Traore on the left-hand side. Kufal heads it out of play for a Wolves throw. So it's such a frustration, and it happens to Wolves so many times because of the explosive power and pace of Traore and Neto especially. Neves, sliding challenge came in from Noble. Lingard carrying it forwards, but a misplaced pass from him is going to give Wolves a throw. Just short of midway inside the West Ham half on the Wolves' right.
Well, I'm just watching the way that West Ham play when they haven't got the ball. Antonio just goes into that pocket of space. Lingard exactly the same, so they don't mark anybody at all. And they're just hoping that when West Ham get the ball, they just get that ball to them, and that's where they've got to be so careful.
Neto driving on. There's a strong challenge came in from Masuaku. Left Neto on the floor. Like shoulder to shoulder though. It's Cresswell trying to lift it up towards Antonio. Cody couldn't get round him to try and win the ball. Antonio getting away from the challenge of Ruben Neves and now looking to drive at Cody, and Cody got a foot to it. They continue on though. Antonio still with the ball again out by the left-hand corner flag. Dendoncker is with him. Masuaku infield to Lingard. Lingard drifting past Neves and now curling a shot, but this time straight down the throat of the waiting Rui Patricio.
Well, we just saw another example of it again, Antonio. They've got to try and stop him somehow by either intercepting the ball before he gets to him, but they've got to get ties to him. Because as soon as he's getting that ball, he's on the run. He's causing big problems, then supported by Lingard up there as well. Got to try and do something to stop him.
Traore looked like he'd lost it to Mark Noble, but Michael Oliver's whistle saved him somewhat.
I think fortunate for me there, watching that.
Maybe a little kick at him, but Wolves getting away with it perhaps. Here's Semedo into the feet of Neto, midway inside the West Ham half, just to the right of centre as you look towards goal. Pedence will play it out to the right side to Semedo. Now looking back in field, 25 yards from goal. A little short pass to Dendoncker, who's tried to lift across to the far side of the penalty area, but there was nobody really there. Hoofed clear by Kufal. Neves getting in away from Lingard, though Souček got there ahead of Dendoncker and wins the free kick.
Yeah, they're a bit hesitant in that central area, aren't they, in the midfield? Neves and Dendoncker. You just saw, and again, another example of it there, just leaving the ball for each other. But just getting back to your point up there, so when Dendoncker's just put that ball in, you got Traore who's too deep for me. He's got to be pushing up further up onto that top line of West Ham.
Cresswell with a long ball down the left-hand side for Lingard to chase, who's kept it in and trying to spin away from Semedo. And it now finds its way to Fornals and into the bottom corner. And West Ham are 2 up inside the opening 15 minutes at Molineux. Jesse Lingard's skill down by the corner flag completely took Semedo out of the game. And they worked the low cross in, and Fornals in a central position with the instep of his right boot, helped it on its way into the far bottom corner. And it's Wolves 0, West Ham 2.
Oh dear. Well, we talk about a replica of what happened at their place earlier on in the year. And it just seems the same again. Wolves having a lot of possession, but getting caught. Just getting caught with either not tracking runners or not defending correctly, leaving space for players in that box, and they're getting punished. they've got to get tighter. They've got to get tighter. They've got to stop West Ham, because at the minute, the confidence that they're showing on that counter attack has been brilliant so far from them.
Yeah, 2 well taken goals, but 2 far too easy goals from Wolves' point of view. The distance Lingard was allowed to run for the first, and I would suggest the position he was in for the second as well should never have been allowed to get out from that corner flag.
Well, I'm just going to say that he shouldn't have been allowed to say he's got to the ball initially. Okay, he's ball over the top, but he shouldn't be allowed to get out of that corner. You've got to keep him into that corner. You can't allow him to put that ball into that box.
Well, Wolves made the brave decision to go to 4 at the back without Willy Bolly. The news came through this morning that he'd had a positive test, so couldn't be involved. No Johnny either that they'd planned to use. So our very best wishes to him. Could have brought Max Kilman in perhaps and kept it similar, or played Otasawi or Morgan Gibbs-White in the midfield and played Dendoncker at the back, but they tried to be brave with a more attacking lineup. It's cost them defensively so far.
Yeah, so like they've done well. Well, they've looked positive going forward, but like I say, they have been caught out in that defensive area.
Driving forwards and blocked off by Masuaku, and a Wolves free kick a couple of yards from the corner of the West Ham penalty area. A chance to have Cody and Saiz come forwards from the back. Neto, I think, will be favourite to whip this in left-footed. Then Donker joining the 2 from the back, and Willian Jose in the penalty area. Neves is in there, furthest away from the ball. It's beyond the far post. Traore, Aït-Nouri outside the area. Pedence just milling around on the inside the D as well, as Neto whips it in towards the far post. It was a West Ham head of Craig Dawson that got the ball away. It has gone out of play, and it will be a Wolves corner.
Yeah, so just looking at Nuno, he's just went to sit down in the dugout. I think he'll be disappointed with the 2 goals that they've conceded. Like I say, they've looked sharp going forward, but got caught those couple of times with it. Well, there could have been 3 with Antonio hitting the post.
Neto's corner, left-footed from the left-hand side. It was deep, and it was Neves who arrived at the far post, and he got a good connection to it. Just couldn't get it on target.
Yeah, I don't know if it took him by a little bit of surprise with the way that he just couldn't control the direction, could he? Just watching the replay.
He had a fairly clean run.
Yeah, he did.
It was Lingard who let him run. Masuaku just jumped in front of him, that maybe put him off at the final moment. You'd argue Wolves have had 3 very good chances so far.
Well, you look at West Ham, they've had 3 and scored 2 of them and hit the post to the other. And that's been the difference.
18 minutes played at Molineux tonight. You can, as ever, use the hashtag Wolves Live to get yourself in touch and have your say. There's Koufal on the right-hand side for West Ham, over the halfway line for Fornals, blocked by Traore and Neves, but the ball bounces to Lingard, and it just seems that everything is going West Ham's way at the moment. Infield by Aït-Nouri to Neves. It's passed rather dissected Neto and Pedence, and Cresswell plays it all the way back to Fabianski.
Yeah, so again, I know it's been a setback with the 2 goals that they conceded, but what's going to give them a little bit of confidence is actually what they've done up front, the way they've created and got opportunities, which unfortunately they haven't taken against West Ham.
Koufal up to Fornals, stepped over the ball. Antonio got there ahead of Saiz. Koufal is ahead of him down the right-hand touchline, and he pokes the ball forwards, but it comes off Aït-Nouri at the expense of a West Ham throw.
He's causing problems again, isn't he? Antonio up front, strong and quick, chases everything down.
Koufal getting the throw in back from Fornals. Down the line to Pablo Fornals and runs it towards the corner flag. Aït-Nouri looked to have won it, but it's crossed in dangerously by Koufal and chested back to the goalkeeper by Semedo. Sue from Molineux says, what did we do to the football gods? Gutted for Johnny.
Yeah, it's not been a great season, has it, for injuries this year for us, where we've been fortunate in the previous two.
Talk about that for whatever reason, one reason or another. No Bolly, no Johnny, no Matinho, no Jimenez tonight. There's Traore down the line for Eight Nouri. Time to set himself. Looks to cut back in field now. Back onto his left foot. Little short pass looking for Traore. Wolves are asking the question. Traore was caught inside the penalty area. West Ham feeling like they got the ball, but Traore has stayed down inside the box, and Lingard is keen to play on here for the Hammers. Antonio's challenge. West Ham are going to get a free kick, and Dendoncker is asking the question, and Michael Oliver is suggesting that VAR will take a look at this, Tomo.
Well, I think so. Well,
who gets there first, Traore or Dawson? That's the question.
I was going to say, just watch it from this side now. Yeah, Traore for me. Just gets it.
Well, they've clearly looked at it, and they're clearly happy enough with it.
Yeah. Well, it looked like Traore just got his foot there just before he come. Dawson with the challenge.
Well, the lack of a love affair with VAR continues. Dendoncker winning it in midfield, driving into the West Ham half. Good reverse pass to find Neto, right hand side of the box. His cross is blocked, comes back to him though. Left footed one delivered to the far post. Prudence his header looping and just over the top. I think it must have clipped the top of the crossbar before it went over.
As I say, I thought it was Dawson, but I think you're right. I think it did just come off the bar. That's the difference. We just can't find that pass at the minute, can we? We've got people in the box.
There's Noble.
Yeah, it's just off the bar, isn't it? Just watching the replay.
Out to Kufal on the right-hand side, driving deep into the Wolves' half, allowed to run a long way and crossing towards Antonio, who nodded the ball downstairs to the 6-yard box. Thankfully, Fornals was too far away, and Saiz and Dendoncker combined to clear. Here's William Jose. Just been battered by Dawson. Cresswell sliding in. Crunching challenge. Cody intercepting from just outside the edge of his own penalty area.
I'll tell you what, we're fortunate there that Antonio got his header wrong, because it was a good chance for him, good ball into him. He just didn't get the right angle for it, did he? The power and direction. But we've got to try and either stop the supply or stop him, because at the moment, say he's causing a massive problem.
Prudence with a long ball forwards. Neto's done well to control it. Sends him a little bit wide on the right-hand side. Support from Semedo, who whips across in, headed away by Issa Diop. Went straight to Lingard. Fornals has lost possession. Semedo back into his own half, only just to Cody. That's to Eight Nouri on the left-hand side, on halfway, finding the feet of Traore. With Kufal to his back, he tried a little bit of trickery to play it down the line, but it's out of play for a throw.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what though, it's an open game. Both teams are actually having to go for it. I know that Wolves are chasing the game a little bit, but West Ham have come here and made it clear that they want to attack as well.
Kufal with a throw, just short of midway inside his own half. Antonio to Noble, back to Diop. He's allowed to carry the ball up to near halfway. Good footwork by Masuaku.
And that's what we've got to do better. So look, they're getting out of tight situations, West Ham, and that's what's causing them the problem. And then that's where players are running at us. Got to try and stop that. Got to try and initiate that first player, stopping them from getting that ball or getting past them.
Nouri intercepting a pass meant for Fornals. Neves back to Saiz. It's why there is this debate that rages on the message boards, forums and social media about 4 or 5 at the back. As Neto tries to release Prudence, Noble was tracking back with him. And Noble then gets a free kick from Daniel Prudence, who clearly doesn't agree with the assistant referee's decision on the far side.
No, so I do think that Prudence probably just went into him.
Say, Tomo, it is this element of Wolves are far tighter and far more compact, shall we say, and organised when they have 5 at the back.
Yeah.
but yet they are better going forwards with 4 at the back and an extra forward up top.
Yeah, it's a dilemma, isn't it? So, like, what do you do? So, but you've got to try stop conceding goals. That's because it wins your games. I know people talk about this too much, that scoring goals wins your games, but trying to keep them out is something that we've done really well in the first 2 years with Nuno, where he has kept clean sheets. We've kept it tight. We've kept ourselves in the game, and then we've either got a goal just to win the game or to get ourselves back into it. But it is a dilemma because you can see that he wants to play a back 4. Have we got the right players to play the back 4? I don't know. But it's a major blow losing Bolly and Johnny and Moutinho so late on in the week. So it's going to unsettle the team altogether. But as I said before, we've got good players out there.
And Saiz running over halfway, finding Neto, skipping away from a couple of challenges to Podence. Little flick to Neto again, wide out to Aït-Nouri on the left. Seti himself trying to whip a cross in, blocked by Souček. It comes to Adama Traore. Needed support from Aït-Nouri. There were 3 West Ham players around Traore there. Saiz finding Cody. Back across the centre circle for Saiz. Now trying to find the feet of Willian Jose. Just set it up for Neves to come forwards. Now infield to Dendoncker. To the right-hand side, to his right to Podence. Podence crossing from deep, and it was headed by Neto, who actually was right in front of Willian Jose. It's frustrated Pedro Neto.
Yeah. But it's good play. So look, it's sharp passing, little 1-2s and everything else what's going on with it. But it's just that final bit what we're missing, aren't we? Like you said, it's decent ball in. Not the great finish from Neto on his head. But we just seem to have everything but that final product in the penalty area to score the goals. And like I say, they've got to keep the goals out as well at the other end, but they are creating chances.
Yeah, they've had some good opportunities so far, and they are dominating possession still, Wolves. They find themselves 2-0 down with just under 27 minutes played. What is becoming a bitterly cold night here at Molineux.
It just shows you how clinical West Ham have been.
Podence, nice ball over the top down the right-hand side to get Semedo in. Semedo, though, rather scuffed his cross. He'll collect the loose ball out on the right-hand side by the corner flag. Support from Dendoncker. Infield to Podence. Podence trying to dink one through to Neto. Ambitious. The ball is cleared back to Podence, though, again. And now he's trying to whip across towards the far post. Traore trying to climb, but climbed over the top of the West Ham defender and gave away a free kick.
Yeah, again, you just seen signs of that where they're looking sharp, they're passing the ball, they're creating opportunities to put the ball in, but it's just not finding the target for whatever reason. Yeah, just watching that foul by Traore. He just catches the defender's hand there on his way down.
Nothing really malicious
in
there. Just
could do nothing about it.
Trying to get towards the ball. Wonder whether it might be worth just a period of swapping Neto and Traore over and trying to get on the outside of this West Ham defence. Try and utilise those gaps between the outside defenders and the wing backs. Because barring the opening moments when Podence found Willian Jose, he hasn't seen an awful lot of the ball. Crosses have tended to be a bit too deep. With throw in by West Ham, Souček lifts it into the area, but Patricio's out sharply. Rolls it to Cody. This is what we talked about a little bit earlier, Tomo, in terms of service to Willian Jose.
Yeah, it's like you say, I feel sorry for him in a way. So look, he hasn't had the best of services in the games that he's played. Okay, he's had that first one from Podence. But like I say, it's gone into the game now. Is it 28 minutes into the game? And that's the only real one he's had.
Saiz trying to play it forwards to Traore, but Dawson just nudged him out the way, and out came Fabianski, who throws it out quickly. Neves read it, got there first, finds Podence. Nice little reverse pass to Willian Jose, who couldn't quite work it through to Neto. It was blocked off by Masuaku. It was tackled by Semedo. Then Fornal's got there ahead of Podence. Antonio battling away with Cody. Holds onto the ball and works it to the left-hand side for Lingard. Worked in field to Masuaku. It's just a little bit too comfortable for West Ham at times.
But it was better from Connor Cody there against Antonio. So look, he didn't allow him to turn. He was tight to him. And that's what he's got to do with him. He's got to try and wrestle with him a little bit.
Lingard out to the left-hand side. It's Masuaku trying to drive in field. Lingard just about missed it, thankfully. Cody with a half clearance. Antonio's ball back to halfway.
Got to be on his toes.
Diop. Dendoncker got there first. Williams shows a battling, but West Ham again coming away with the ball through Masuaku, who's just allowed to step away from two players, and West Ham are beginning to dictate terms here.
Well, what it is though, so he's battling for that first ball, and once he didn't win it, he kind of stopped in there. So I can hear the frustration from some of the director's box here when he's done really well, William. He's battled with him, but then he's just stood off him once he's done that first initial tackle with him.
There's Antonio. Neves trying to get the ball, ain't Nori, but Antonio somehow found his way into the penalty area, towards the byline, smashes it into the side netting. Should never have been allowed to get himself into the area, and now he goes down.
Well, what is he? He's battled past three players, has he, for Wolves?
Well, he was on the floor at one point and still managed to get away from two of them.
Yeah. So you're just looking at him there, the strength and his desire to keep that ball. He got there, you're watching it. There's no way he should be allowed out of that situation.
Well, it's a difficult situation for Wolves at the moment without so many key players. And having had plenty of the ball and created some decent opportunities, they are 2-0 down to what we have to be honest about, with two pretty soft goals to concede. That will be hugely frustrating for Nuno and his coaching staff.
I just think it's the manner that we conceded him. I think Nuno will be disappointed with. Because to say, when we've had the ball, we've looked sharp, we've looked like we can. Again, we're missing that cutting edge up front. But they've just got to be able to defend it. They've got to think about, like, rather than letting the player get past them, that they're the last line of defence. Don't matter where they are on the field. They've got to make it difficult for anybody to get past them. Don't expect other people to do it. Yeah, just got caught a few times.
You can make a point about not having the extra central defender in there and what that part would have played in the two goals they've conceded. And that's the situation they found themselves in. Antonio is up and okay.
He's got to come off the pitch, hasn't he?
Antonio will come to the side of the field. Wolves will try and get on with things.
He's not happy. His hamstring, I think, he's feeling.
Well, maybe. I think he's going to head straight off. So
yeah.
West Ham will look to make a change.
Yeah, I think I think he put his hand on his hamstring there. Well, don't like to see players injured, but that's a massive bonus for Wolves with him going off, because he's caused that many problems in this first 33 minutes.
Jared Bowen is getting ready. He scored twice in the game earlier this season. There's Traore for Wolves down the left-hand side, trying to run on the outside. Koufal got across to him. He forced him further wide than he wanted to go, and he managed to keep the ball in, Traore, but at the expense of losing it. So Saiss has read the danger, headed it forwards. It'll be just hoofed away downfield by Dawson. He's having a real revival to his career.
Well, he's a now messing centre off, isn't he? So look, if it's got to go, it's going. So he attacks everything. So he's done really well when he's gone to West Ham.
There's Neves over halfway to the right-hand side to Pedence, midway between the touchline and the centre circle. Looking downfield, he's trying to thread it through to Semedo, but passed it straight to Masuaku. Masuaku has been allowed to run unchallenged over the halfway line here, and eventually Dendoncker gets across to him. It's just been a bit too comfortable, and at times West Ham have just been a bit more switched on than Wolves.
Yeah, just got to have a little bit more from the front lads when we are defending. Just got to help out a little bit. Got to defend from that front area, make it difficult from actually to get out of certain areas, West Ham, but because that's what they've done. They've been able to get out of tight areas.
Semedo for Podence on the right-hand touchline, 30 yards from goal. Trying to flick it to Semedo. Semedo with a left-footed cross, hanging high to the far post. Again, it was a bit too deep, but headed behind by Kufal for a Wolves corner. And West Ham can now make the change to bring on Jared Bowen in place of Mikel Antonio.
Yeah, I know that he scored a couple against us, but I think he's a totally different player from Antonio. So I was just thinking that first half hour, he's caused Wolves so many problems, Antonio.
Neto with a corner, left-footed from the left-hand side, hanging high to the far post. It was too high and too far again. Neves keeps it on the right-hand touchline and delivers a cross in towards the near post, but Fabianski is able to come out and claim.
I tell you what, I thought Neves was going to hit that first time. He was set up to hit it first time. And for whatever reason, I don't know if he thought that the West Ham defender was just going to get a touch on it, that he just pulled out of actually striking the ball and he ended up letting it bounce. Just have a go. So, look, I'm very surprised he didn't, because he's the type of player who would have a go.
Masuaku finding Lingard. Infield to Souček. Allowed to dribble it to the West Ham left. Dendoncker with him. Semedo there as well. Semedo with a foot in on the touchline and plays it forwards to Podence, who miscontrols. Fornals backwards to Noble. Infield to Lingard. His pass went straight to Dendoncker. Neves now for Traore. Traore trying to release Willian Jose to the Wolves left, trying to cut back infield, a couple of yards outside the box, finds Traore. Traore to strike it, but he hit it straight at Fabianski. Bobbled a touch in front of him, but it was a comfortable save in the end.
Well, it's better play though, isn't it? So better play from him there. Actually going into that central position. Traore, Willian coming out onto this left-hand side. But just unfortunate that he couldn't really get as much power as he wanted, and the direction was in. Was a thing that he couldn't really get past the keeper as well.
Dendoncker won the ball from Souček and then was fouled midway inside the West Ham half. So another set-piece opportunity. It's just to the left of centre as you look down towards goal at the North Bank end. Stan Collis stand. Still with its out of darkness cometh light banner. It'll be Neto to try and lift it forwards into the West Ham penalty area. It goes deep to the far side of it. Neves playing back in. Headed goal was by Willian Jose. It was blocked. It comes to Podence, who tries to strike and again blocked and cleared out the penalty area as far as Aït-Nouri. Lifts it back into the danger zone. Away by Souček this time. And West Ham first the loose ball through Lingard, and Lingard is setting off at speed and looking to run, and he's got support here from Bowen, and Bowen into the penalty area, striking and scoring. And West Ham have a third. As quickly as that, from a Wolves free kick, lifted into the penalty area. West Ham get it clear, and from one end to the other, they get their third goal of the first half inside 38 minutes. Wolves 0, West Ham 3.
Well, there you go. Another example of a counter-attack coming from our corner. Just watching their head out, and all of a sudden then we're on the back foot. Lingard able to just run with that ball. Again, he's picking up the ball too easy for me. And then Bowen just across from there. Oh, what a strike. Beat him at his near post, but just the power of it.
Well, it's eerily similar to what happened at the London Stadium.
Yeah, just off the post.
Wolves having plenty of possession.
Yeah.
West Ham taking the chances.
But you've got to be set up better from set plays. We've got 2 out of the 3 goals today already. It's come from where we've been attacking.
Neves across to Connor Cody. Almost a feeling of being shell-shocked here at Molineux. And Saiss has the ball. Plays it wide left to Aït-Nouri. Nuno will have plenty to say, I imagine, at half-time.
Well,
I wonder whether they will change the formation.
Well, he was absolutely fuming with that goal, and rightfully so. It's just too easy for them to be on that counter-attack for me for West Ham. We've got to be set up that it would make it difficult for them to break out, but at the moment, they found it too easy for me.
Ever since they got in front early in the game through Jesse Lingard's run and finish, West Ham have been able to just sit back and soak up whatever Wolves will try and put towards them. And Wolves just haven't really dominated the territory as much as the possession to keep West Ham pegged back in. They've allowed them to get out far too easily.
Well, they have. Well, you just saw two examples of it when we've been attacking. And the counter-attack from them, it's basically just run from their half into ours, and then all of a sudden they score that goal.
Here's Pedence, right inside of the penalty. Low one in. Williams shows it, saved, and Neto misses the follow-up from 5 yards out. Pretty much an open goal. And it just will not go in for either Pedro Neto or Williams Jose. It's a really good ball in by Pedence this time. And Jose there ahead of Dawson. Fabianski with a good save, but Neto has to score the follow-up.
Yes. I was going to say, I think Williams got to score as well. But you'd think that Neto, keeper's on the ground, just watching it again. Oh.
He's gone with his left foot and had to stab towards it with the outside of it. Well, it probably was more comfortable to hit it with his right.
Well, it just kind of sums up the first half, doesn't it? The difference between the two teams. Because Wolves have had chances. But West Ham have just taken theirs.
Neves for Ait-Nouri to carry it forwards. Midway inside the West Ham half. Still got it. Now finds Traore. Support from Neves. Infield to Pedence. Central area. Pedence fancies a shot from distance, and it's gone a long way high over the top and behind for a goal kick.
I still think that there's opportunities here for Wolves. I know they're 3-0 down. But you wouldn't believe that they are 3-0 down with the way that they've been in that top third and the way that they've passed the ball. It's just that they've been, I think, say naive defending when we're attacking. Just allowed West Ham just to break at them.
You know, the aggregate score for Nuno against West Ham, by the way, since promotion, up until this season, Wolves had scored 8 and hadn't conceded any. It's now 8-7. There's Masuaku threatening to make it 8-8 as Cresswell comes running up and whips across all the way through the penalty area. And it will go out for a throw down by the corner flag.
Oh, what a ball in, though. What a ball in. Well defended by Wolves in the end. It was a good ball in from Cresswell.
Well, we'll get the thoughts of Ikeme and Dave Edwards very shortly at half-time. Last couple of minutes of the first period. Noble, infield to Masuaku. Now finding Cresswell. Going to whip it in towards the penalty area, headed away by Saiz. Traore to pick up on the loose ball. Trying to knock it on the outside of Koufal, who was just trying to block him. Cross came Noble, but Traore hurdled him and continues to drive on down the left-hand side, and now trying to go forwards towards the byline here. Traore, left-footed cross, whipped into the danger zone and headed home.
Dendoncker.
And Leander Dendoncker gets Wolves potentially back into the game. Brilliant work by Adama Traore, running practically the length of the field. Lifted it invitingly into the danger zone. And Leander Dendoncker was there for his first goal of the season. It's Wolves 1, West Ham 3.
Yeah, that's what we want to see from Traore, isn't it? What a great run from our half. So what a great delivery. Then Donker's just sprinted the length of the pitch there to get into the box. It's a great header. And I said, that's just what's missing, just that clinical finishing. Oh, no chance for West Ham keeper. But a great ball in from Traore, great run.
Finally, a Premier League assist for Adama Traore. And finally, a goal for Leander Dendoncker, ending 33 games without one.
Well, I said it was an open game, and there's still going to be opportunities for both teams, hopefully more to Wolves that they can take. But this game's open.
It's taken him to his 25th effort on goal at the end of Dendoncker in this season in the Premier League to finally get one in the back of the net. Here's Pedro Neto, and with 30 seconds left of the 45 plus time to be added on, here's Pedence down the left-hand side. If Wolves can get another one before the break, really will set things up. Neves trying to find Neto, overhit the pass though.
Yeah.
And it'll be a goal kick.
Well, we've said throughout the half that we've looked sharp, we've looked bright passing. It's just been that final product that we're missing. And there you've just had it. But fair dues to Dendoncker. He sprinted down that middle of the pitch. As soon as he sees Traore running down this left-hand side, he sprinted into that box, and great connection for the goal.
3 minutes are going to be added on.
So the next goal is going to be the important one, isn't it? If Wolves can get that second goal.
You have to give so much credit to Adama Traore because
two
players tried to bring him down on the halfway line.
But that's what we want to see from him, isn't it? We want to see him sprinting and going past players because we know he can do it. He was a great ball in as well with his weaker foot.
Cody for Saiz. Out to the left-hand side to Traore. Just about found Aït-Nouri and then looked like he was caught by Souček, but Michael Oliver says no. Neves steps in and wins it back. Traore again. Now infield to Willian Jose.
Well, I think the referee thinks the ball was away from him, but it's still a foul. It's still a trip.
Neves again to Traore. On the left-hand side, cutting infield on his right foot, looking to lift across towards the far post. Away by Diop. Pedence beaten to it by Masuaku. Allowed to play it back to Cresswell, who smashes it towards the halfway line. Bowen was trying to hold it up, couldn't get there. Falls to Semedo. In towards the feet of Neto. He's got Pedence out wide. Here he is, Daniel Pedence. 10 yards from the right-hand corner flag. Looking to run in towards the edge of the penalty area. Jinked across on his right foot and eventually did so, and it came off Cresswell behind for a Wolves corner right at the end of the half.
Yeah, I thought he could have just rolled it back to Semedo there. He was in a better position on the edge of the corner of the 18-yard box. Had two defenders on him, Pedence. But again, it's a good finish to this first half.
Neto to take, left-footed from the right-hand side. Cody and Saiz are in there too, as it's lifted towards Connor Cody, who climbed high, but couldn't quite get a sweet connection to it. Took him a while to get a goal, but since he did at Manchester City, every time he goes forwards, it seems to be like a magnet in the penalty area.
I was going to say, yeah, so he got it well there. So I thought that he's going to have an opportunity again. Just couldn't get the contact on it.
Wolves 1, West Ham 3. It's been a bizarre first half here at Molineux. Wolves with over 60% of the possession. Only won one of 11 games in the Premier League when they've had more than 60% possession. They've had 12 efforts to West Ham 7. As the half-time whistle goes, well, what a bizarre first half that was. Opened out early with a Willian Jose effort that went wide. Mikel Antonio had a shot that was brilliantly saved by Rui Patricio to tip it onto the post as both sides went for it in the early period. And then it fell to Jesse Lingard to get West Ham the first goal. It came as he drove all the way through and ran from inside his own half and eventually lifted the ball over Rui Patricio into the bottom corner. They got themselves 2-0 in front when Lingard again out on the left-hand side, beat Nelson Semedo out wide, and the cross came in and was turned home by Pablo Fornals. That was all inside the opening quarter of an hour. Eventually, West Ham went 3-0 up. Jared Bowen allowed to drive forwards from a Wolves attack. West Ham going the length of the field and smashing it in at the near post. Pedro Neto missed a practically open goal after Fabianski had denied Willian Jose, but eventually Wolves did get their goal. Adama Traore's run and cross headed home by Leander Dendoncker for his first of the campaign. Wolves with 63% possession, Andy Thompson, 13 shots on goal and somehow find themselves behind.
Yeah, like I said, it's been an interesting first half, but again, it's the way that they've conceded the goals. So, like, there's been 3 really good counter attacks from West Ham, and they've got caught on them. They're fortunate that they didn't concede that one to Antonio earlier on with that first attempt on goal, but they've got to do better. When they're attacking, they've got to be set up that they're making it difficult for West Ham to have that counter attack, because we've seen this evening how dangerous they actually are. But again, they've got themselves back into it with that 1 goal, and who knows what the second half is going to bring. But they've just got to carry on attacking, keep doing what they're doing, apart from the defending when they're attacking.
More from Annie Thompson. We'll also hear from Kyle Ikeme and Dave Edwards here on Matchday Live Extra in just a couple of moments. Don't go anywhere, because the boys are going to have an awful lot to say on what we've seen so far.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those 2 games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in for me, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Here it is! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Half-time here at Molineux then. Wolves 1, West Ham 3. Fabio Silva is stripped and ready and already warming up at half-time. So Wolves are going to make a change at the break, it appears, but we will find out who it's going to be for very shortly. In the meantime, Kyle Ikeme, try and make sense of what we've just seen there.
Oh my God, I don't know where to start, man. Poor in some aspects and brilliant in others. Like it's a bit of a strange way to try and describe the half. Defending awful. I don't think there's any other words you can really use to describe it. It kind of reminded me of when the first team used to play the youth team going forward. Just sort of cutting through us as soon as they go forward. Look like they're going to score every time. I think even the third goal went on the break. we just never got hold of it. I'm just even sort of thinking there's a bit of naivety. Lingard, they've already broke on us twice and scored. I'm thinking someone take Lingard down, just take the yellow card, and it's not done. They scored again. Really disappointing. We kind of said it. We've never got the balance right in the four, really, even though we look really good going forward. And there's an argument to say that we could be free. It could be 3-3 from the chances that we have had as well. So disappointing on the whole, because you can't concede 3 goals in a half of a game and be so poor at the back. But at the same time, I'm looking in the second half thinking, do you know, we're still right in this game and we could still get back in it, even if not win it.
Dave Edwards, let's deal with the two separate parts there, because Carl's described it really well in that we'll deal with the attacking in a minute. Defensively, West Ham have found it far too easy to run at the Wolves' back line, and summed up by that first goal more than any of them.
Absolute criminal defending by Wolves. You look at what we were talking about before the game about West Ham not being a possession-based team. They're going to be counter-attacking. So Wolves need to be set up for that. And we spoke at length before the game about having that sort of centre-backs and centre midfielders solid in the middle of the pitch with at least one fullback. First goal, passing to Lingard. Our fullbacks are ahead of the ball, both of them. Both of our midfielders get cut out with that first ball. Their donker's too high. Neves comes out the middle of the pitch too quickly to try and close the ball down. And in that split second, we're 2v2, 60 yards from our own goal. That can't happen that early on in the game. Wolves have been so good at playing their way into games slowly, and they get a bit of criticism sometimes for being a bit too methodical and slow at times, but this was just complete anti-Nuno. And then from there, fair play to West Ham. Great run by Lingard, clever run by Antonio to give him the space. And Wolves didn't learn from it. The third goal was very similar. They managed to get numbers back, but they have to engage Lingard. There was 3 men around him. Somebody has to take responsibility and try and make a tackle. Then same again with Bowen. Rui Patricio maybe could have done better, but it was a good strike, to be fair, and it went in the one place where Rui Patricio couldn't get to. But defensively, all over the place. They need to be stronger on that turnover of possession because they look so vulnerable to the pace of Lingard, Bowen, since he's coming obviously in the 4 nails as well.
Yeah, Carlo Ikeme on that point on the goalkeeping. People will point to the fact that Jota beat Patricio at his near post as well in the last game. But from Patricio's point of view, he made a stunning stop to deny Mikel Antonio early on, and then he's had to pick the ball out of his net 3 times.
Yeah, I think Rui will be disappointed again, getting beaten in their post. I think this was a much better strike this time. Don't get me wrong. I think Bowen has really put a lot of pace in it. But I think we sort of spoke about the Jota time where we were sort of anticipating going across him, and it looked like he was anticipating it going across him again. So I think it'll be a bit of disappointment in there. But yeah, he has made a good save from Antonio, and it's just I can't describe the defending. I'm trying and find something positive to say about the defensive. I just can't find nothing positive to say. It's been poor. He's been exposed too many times. And
okay, well that's an interesting point then. And Tomo, you can come in on this. All 3 of you actually. Then, is it down to it being a back 4, or is it down to there is not the protection for the back 4 in those instances where they've conceded?
I just think that you've got to be picking up, like Lingard and Antonio, you've got to be picking them up, because what they're doing, they're just dropping off you. And West Ham know what to do. As soon as they get the ball or they're defending the ball, they know they can hit one of those players, and all of a sudden they know they're going to run with the ball. We've got to be tighter with them. We can't allow them the time and space that they've got to be running at our back line. And as I think Edo just mentioned about one of the fullbacks being back there as well. And we're getting caught with both fullbacks pushing on. And so you've got to defend. Even when you've got the ball, you've got to be defending. You've got to make sure, thinking, can they hurt us? If they get the ball, where can they hurt us? And they've shown us time and time again in that first half that if they get that initial first ball, they can break out, either give it to one of those players and they're running at our back line, and that's where they've got the goals from.
It's like we're getting carried away with how sharp we look sometimes going forward, and we're all sort of thinking, we're all looking at what's happening, looking at Prudence doing a bit of magic, looking at a chance, and then not really concentrating on pinning on Lingard and Antonio. And I was thinking, thank God he went off. And then we was having the same problems with Bowen.
Yeah.
Like you're sort of thinking, learn from the first or second goal, and we're not really quite learned from that. Not as Edo said, not a fullback's not got back, both high up the pitch. One's got to get back, and if you're gonna be really horrible about it as well, is that like make a foul, stop the game.
They've done it. That's what they've done. They've done that a couple of times. Got 2 yellow cards.
If you think you're in trouble, just take him down, take a yellow card. Rather that than them carve through us again, which they've looked like doing every time that Jesse Lingard gets on the turn. Someone clamp down on him. I'm not saying to hurt him. I'm just saying get a bit tighter to him.
Yeah.
Like pull a shirt or something. Just stop the game.
But
I was also thinking about communication. I fully expect codes. Obviously, I'm not there, so I can't hear, but to still be organising. But I look back to my time at Wolves and someone like Carl Henry, a really good holding midfield player or someone in defence needs to be seeing danger all the time. So when the lads are attacking or going forward, you have that voice in the middle of the pitch who is sensing danger. Where can we get hurt here? And that's getting your fullback in. If you're playing 4-4-2, both fullbacks can't go unless you've got three midfielders in there who are all sitting. So getting the fullback in, making sure those 2 centre midfielders are in the centre of the pitch, like I was saying. You need someone organising, because that counter is the only way that West Ham are going to hurt Wolves at the moment. And the big voices in there need to be obviously louder, or there needs to be a better message, because it just looks like it's just a bit off the cuff at the moment, which is so unlike Wolves. And
definitely, it's the responsibility as well, Edo, and it's the responsibility of fullbacks. I used to have a nightmare of fullbacks. They just didn't want to start going forward, but someone would have to take responsibility sometimes and just say, do you know what, I can see some of those the players on the opposite side of the pitch. It's not time for me to go yet. When you're sort of starting to see play build up, or you see Never starting to, someone's going to possibly play the ball into midfield for a switch of play, that's when you start to go. But you don't start there and then try and work your way back on the break. It's too late.
Final point, boys. I think it's Daniel Podence who is going to go off. Fabio Silva will be on for the start of the second half. In an attacking sense, Carlo Ikeme, Wolves have got one. They should have probably had at least 3.
I mean, we could be 4-3 up.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous it is. Like the chance. I mean, Jose's got to score. He's had the chance before the first West Ham's first goal was a great opportunity. I thought he should have scored that. He made a great touch and made great space for himself. But the one after that, he's got to score that. He really has got to score that. But we have had chances. That's the craziest thing about it, is that we have had chances, and it could easily be 3-3. If not, if we defend a little bit better, way ahead of West Ham. So it's the game still game on.
Edo, you agree with that? Could still get something from this?
Definitely. Say Jose's had 2 chances. Neto's should have scored, obviously, that one, but he also had another chance. Podence's header, which was cleared off the line. Nori had the shot as well early on. There's been lots of opportunities for Wolves, which is exciting on that forward play. Should have been better. I still think there's times. I think Traore's done better as the half's gone on an excellent cross for Dendonka's goal. Still at times, I think the final ball could be better, but it's there and wide open for goals. West Ham aren't the best defensive team, and you saw what Arsenal did to them before the international break. There's going to be opportunities if they can keep it tight at the back.
I'm feeling excited that Fabio's coming on, because I think there's going to be opportunities for him, and I'm thinking, do you know what, this game's settled for you. You could score tonight for us as well and get us back in the game.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed.
4-4-2. Well,
we will hear more from Carlo Ikeme and Dave Edwards after the final whistle. Who knows what's going to happen in this second 45 minutes. Here we go. We are ready and underway for the second period here at Molineux. Wolves trailing by 3-1. Could they possibly get themselves back into this? It would be remarkable if they could turn things around, but you would not rule it out based on what we have seen so far.
But they've had opportunities, haven't they? So it's not as if they haven't created nothing. They've had opportunities to score goals. As you said there, they've had more chances and opportunities than West Ham have in the first half. But the 3-1 down.
There's Semedo. So Fabio Silva on for Daniel Podence. Hasn't changed too much of what Wolves have done just yet, but you imagine he will be a little bit more advanced as Traore went running down the right-hand side. That's worth pointing out as well, that Traore looks to be more on the right, and Neto perhaps may well come from the left.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of what I saw in that first half with that goal what we scored from Traore and Neto, running a little bit more at the West Ham defence.
Cresswell with the throw. So Wolves with Patricio in goal. Back four of Semedo, Cody, Saiss and Aït-Nouri. Dendoncker and Neves in midfield. Neto, Traore, Fabio Silva and Willian Jose. The more advanced as Pablo Fornals chases one, but Saiss is there first. West Ham with Fabianski in goal. Diop, Dawson and Cresswell as a back three, with Masuaku and Kufal as their wing backs. Noble and Souček in the centre of midfield. Pablo Fornals, Jesse Lingard and Jared Bowen up top. Mikel Antonio went off injured in the first half. Aït-Nouri winning possession back to short of halfway. Willian Jose infield to Neto. Neto's going to play it out to the right-hand side. Here's Adama Traore. And Traore with two players for company on this right will now try and lift across into the danger zone. It drops towards Willian Jose, who tried to shape it onto his left foot and then tried to lay it back for Neves. In the end, West Ham got the players back.
Yeah, he's trying to score the perfect goal now. So I know he's had that opportunity in the first half. Just swing at it. Was he 10 yards out? Just have a go at it. You never know. It might deflect off their player.
So Wolves maybe slightly changing formation as Traore loses out to Masuaku a bit too easily. Very much looks like Fabio Silva's playing through the middle. Traore to the right and Willian Jose to the left, and Neto more in that number 10 role that Pedence was playing in the first half. So Wolves have tried to stick with the same general shape that they had in the first period, just a slightly different personnel. Like to see how that plays out. Long ball forwards by Fabianski. Semedo heads forward unchallenged. Traore rather fizzed it back at Neves, who lost control. Lingard on the left-hand side for West Ham. Neves getting towards him. Lingard cutting in field and trying to switch the play. First to Fornals, who helps it out wide to Kufal. He's got Aït-Nouri with him up towards the corner of the penalty area, forced backwards and wide. And then Aït-Nouri stole it from Fornals, but Kufal got it back, and then Fornals is offside.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit better from Wolves, just putting a little bit more pressure on them. But say when that ball does go up to those strikers or the wide men, it's got to stick. Got to keep possession of it. Just got caught there a little bit. Just Wolves just playing the ball back. But I think that we've got to utilise the two wide men. I know we've got those two lads up front now. That's an extra one in the box when we're delivering, but we've got to get Traore and Neto on the ball a lot more.
We have played 4 minutes at the start of the second half here at Molineux. Wolves 1, West Ham 3. Dendoncker to Saiss. Down the line over halfway to Aït-Nouri. He's allowed to carry the ball forward and into the feet of Fabio Silva, who bounced off the defender. And West Ham have it forwards again, but Saiss will intercept and play it back to Patricio. Sweep it left-footed to his right-hand side to Semedo. Space in front of Semedo. Finds the feet of Traore on halfway. Infield to Neves, just to the right of the centre circle. Forwards to Neto again, facing his own goal though. Back to Neves. Low across the centre circle for Saiss. Now to Dendoncker. Back to Cody, just short of the centre circle. Looking to the right this time. Finds Semedo. Now to Traore. Masuaku getting tight. Falls to Willian Jose. The ball goes high in the air. Diop's header went straight to Semedo. Down the line for Traore. Traore trying to cut infield. Was he fouled by Masuaku? Again, Michael Oliver lets things play and then gives a free kick against Saiss on Jared Bowen, which, dare I say, was relatively similar there.
Yes, I don't think there was much in it, but you're just watching there, the doubling up on Traore. Cresswell's just coming as a backup. I just think that if we get the ball a little bit quicker out to him where he is one-on-one, so like just allow him just to have a run of the ball, but because it's taken a little bit of time, that West Ham are allowed to just squeeze across.
Michael Oliver's run of Wolves games, by the way, won't fill many people with too much confidence as Masuaku goes running down the left, blocked off by Neves. Last one he was in charge of was the Derby Day defeat to the Baggies, of which mysteriously didn't give Wolves a penalty and gave West Brom 2, one of which wasn't even in the penalty area.
It's kind of in then.
He was also in charge of the win away at Arsenal this season. A game that, well, we will look back on as changing the whole course of the campaign with what happened to Raul Jimenez. And Jose has found Pedro Neto on the left-hand side, shaped across from deep, still has the ball, carries it forward some more, finds Aït-Nouri, level at the edge of the penalty area. Aït-Nouri trying to dribble forwards and Koufal just out-muscles him. Finds Souček, back to Koufal from Lingard, and they can put their foot through it and clear.
Yeah, Silva just caught on his heels there a little bit with the header forward by Neves. So just got to keep going, keep plugging away. Just make sure they don't give anything away at the other end. Because there will be opportunities. They will create something. But I'd just like to see what they did in that first half where they moved the ball pretty quickly. Got to do the same again. Got to try and replicate that just to pull West Ham around. Because they've done well this year. So like West Ham with the way that they've been set up.
Cody for Semedo, trying to thread it through towards Traore, but came off Masuaku. Cresswell hits it against Traore, but can try and clear, finds Souček. A lot of time there, Souček.
Yeah, that's where I think we've got to be higher up the field. So look, he's got too much time for me there. Got to be higher up the field.
West Ham have worked it over halfway to Lingard down the left-hand side. Infield to Souček. Knew Fabio Silva was closing in from behind, so played it to Mark Noble. Then to Cresswell, out down the left-hand side for Lingard. Infield to Masuaku. Cody blocks the cross. His pass didn't find Traore and was intercepted by Noble. On down the line for Masuaku. Low cross into the near post and behind for a West Ham corner. Saiss and Cody are there with Bowen to see away the danger.
Yeah, well, so he's better defending just getting across there, but got themselves out of trouble by giving the ball away a couple of times as well, Wolves. Again, they need that get-out ball. They need that ball that they can threaten West Ham going the other way.
53.5 minutes played at Molineux tonight. Wolves 1, West Ham 3. Hammers with a corner, left-footed from the left-hand side to be taken by Aaron Cresswell. Everybody back defending. Neto just protecting the short ball. It's whipped in towards the near post. I think that came off Traore and eventually cleared by Saiss. Traore's touch sent it back into the 6-yard box. Cresswell has delivered it back in there, and it was a free header that just goes wide of the far post of Rui Patricio from Jared Bowen. Viciously whipped in cross from deep. Wolves didn't quite deal with.
It was a good ball from Cresswell, wasn't it? But you're just watching there. I think they just did enough just to put him off, didn't they?
There's Semedo looking to knock it long towards Neto. Ball's going to drop to Fabio Silva. Now Pedro Neto driving on in field, 30 yards from goal. Was allowed to run a long way, finds Neves, now to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri setting himself to cross, headed away at the near post by Dawson. And then Fornell's got there, but Neves first the loose ball. Williams shows it on the edge of the box, infield to Dendoncker. Dendoncker striking, but all the way across and wide of the right-hand post with Fabianski at full stretch.
Yeah, just watching it again. So look, a good play from Neves, just winning that ball back. William just setting up Dendoncker. Good first touch. Just pulls across it, doesn't he? Just hits it wide. But again, so it's having opportunities at the goal. If you keep creating them, sooner or later you'll get that chance, like Dendoncker did in that first half. But they have just got to be careful. Just be careful that they don't throw it away by giving West Ham that fourth goal.
He has scored against West Ham before, Leander Dendoncker. One of his previous 8. Back in December of 2019. 2-0 win. There's Adama Traore. Never scored 2 in the same game, Dendoncker, for Wolves, though.
Always the first time. Always the first time.
It is true. And Semedo trying to cross from deep. Rather just hit it straight at Masuaku, who's only a couple of yards in front of him. Masuaku had turned his back on it as well.
Now this is where they have the problem in that first half.
Fornals wide out to the right-hand side. Kufal. Fornals went tumbling under a challenge of Neves, but nothing given. Wolves throw.
Yeah, well done, Neves. So that's the kind of play that I had in that first half, where they were just breaking free, where West Ham were just getting that play.
Dendoncker for Semedo on the halfway line, looking downfield. Wolves attacking the South Bank second half. Ball goes backwards though to Cody. Now to Neves, who's dropped deep.
Just needs to be a little bit of movement, either coming inside the wide men, because it's been easy for the fullbacks just to pick them up. So if they're just staying out there, you're just happy for them. Just have the ball and then you just close them down and then push them back. And that's what's happening at the minute. Got to try and make the fullbacks think a little bit about where they are.
Sai's trying to hit a long diagonal for the chase of Neto, but Cresswell heading it back to the keeper. It feels very much like 4-2-4 now, with Neto out on the right, Traore on the left, and the two up top.
But they've got to have a little bit more movement just to move those back lines of West Ham, because they're just happy just to keep sliding across. Either come inside the two wide men or just rotate around with the two lads in the middle, just to get some movement, just to pull them around. Because at the minute, Salah's just watching it, quite static, quite easy for West Ham to pick up. We had that rotation a little bit more in the first half.
There's somewhat of a frustration as well that if you do have two up top now, you've inverted the wingers again, so we're not getting into wide areas. William Jose was offside. To actually just put a ball in the box now, you've actually got two in there to attack it.
Yeah, but we haven't really had that opportunity at the minute, have we, in this second half?
No.
Yeah, West Ham just trying to run the clock down, pretend they don't know where the free kick's from.
It's a couple of yards inside their own half. We are 58 minutes played. Wolves 1, West Ham 3. Jared says, I'm seeing too much of Wolves hesitating and standing when they have possession. More energy, more passion, says Jared. Here come West Ham down the right-hand side. Cross blocked. It'll be a Hammers throw out by the corner flag. Lisa wants to wish a happy 44th birthday to Rich Frampton. Wants a win to add to the celebration. Well, it's something special if Wolves can win it from this position. Here is an opportunity for Bowen. Brilliant save. Souček on the follow-up, though. Turns the ball home, but I don't think it's going to be allowed.
Handball, I think.
Looked like an arm in there.
Yeah, I think it's handball. But again, two West Ham players free in the penalty area. That can't be right.
Bowen had the opportunity. Struck it goalwards. Patricio save. It rebounds towards Souček, and it hits his arm, and it will not be given. So the advantage for West Ham stays at only 2, but it's a warning sign for Wolves.
But again, it's two West Ham players free. That's what they've got to try and sort out. Can't allow players in the penalty area to have that much time and space.
Here come Wolves again, headed by Dawson on halfway, forwards by Neves. Fabio Silva beaten to it by Issa Diop. Kufal just launching it forward. Sai's there ahead of Bowen, but at the expense of a throw. Wolves trying to work their way back into the game. Worth remembering that West Ham blew a 3-goal lead against Arsenal in their final game before the international break. So it has happened to them recently. Fabio Silva, poor touch really. And Lingard, good tackle by Cody though, stopping the potential West Ham attack. Neto is being held by Cresswell, Wolves free kick.
But we're just coming up against a brick wall at the minute, I think. West Ham is putting that little bit more effort into stopping Wolves breaking, where they had that freedom in the first half.
Semedo trying to play it in behind for the run of Neto. Neto into the penalty area, back onto his left foot, striking goalwards, but striking straight at Fabianski, who palmed it down and claimed it at the second attempt.
Well, there's your answers to what we need to be looking at. Those lads just running at them. When you get the opportunity, give them the ball quick. Neto just using his pace against Creswell, just coming inside. Fortunately, just straight at the keeper. But that's what you've got to do. You've got to try and turn this West Ham defence. You haven't got to play everything in front of them.
Wolves 1, West Ham 3, 61 minutes played. Big diagonal crossfield ball towards Masuaku that Semedo can bring down under control. Manning Patricio to Saiz under pressure from Bowen. Dendoncker to Cody to help him out of trouble. Cody to carry it up towards the edge of the centre circle. Still driving on here, Cody. Now to Ait Nouri on the left, just over halfway. In towards the feet of Traore, who turns and has support from Willian Jose, who whips the ball out to Neto on the right-hand side. Wolves with numbers in the penalty area. Neto wants Semedo to run past him. Now looks to cut back infield and has support from Neves. Now to Neto again. Now for Semedo, sets himself, gets his cross in. Willian Jose with the flick on. Dendoncker will get the loose ball to Ait Nouri. Wide out to Dendoncker on the left. Back on his right foot, cross is blocked. And cleared up to Bowen, and all of a sudden, West Ham have numbers pouring forwards again, but Dendoncker out-muscles Lingard and wins possession back.
Yeah, done well there, Dendoncker, getting back in. Because you feared the worst there for Lingard, just breaking away.
Here's Neto. Semedo's gone forwards ahead of him. It finds Traore, just to the right of centre. Now to Semedo. Wide out to the right-hand side to Ruben Neves, popping up in an unusual position. Bowen completely took Semedo off the ball there. We play on with Traore in possession. The left-hand side to Ait Nouri. Now infield to Dendoncker. Back to Saiz, left-hand side of the centre circle for Cody. Cody stepping in between Lingard and Bowen. Very calm and composed there. The Wolves have worked it neatly to Semedo. Driving on, 30 yards from goal. Out to Neto. Left-footed cross from Neto, whipped all the way through and behind. Dendoncker was arriving in the box, but it was too high for him.
Yeah, but it was the right idea. It's just the delivery, wasn't it, from Neto? Just overhit slightly, but that's what he's got to do. We've got two lads in the box now. Put it in there. Try and get the second balls. Try and compete for everything else. Just watching that goal, it was disallowed. Yeah, just hit him on the arm, wasn't it?
I'd just like to see a little bit more urgency about Wolves at the minute. They've got a lot of the ball, but they're not really getting at West Ham sharply enough.
Well, as I said, I think the difference between now and the first half and the second half is the movement in that front line. So it's quite static. They're just standing up against the West Ham players and the West Ham defence. They need some movement, either just interchanging, swapping over the wide men from the front lads. Just do something just to pull them around, because at the minute, West Ham are just shuffling across. Just if you're playing in front of them, they're quite happy to do that.
Just get it into the area.
Yeah, get into area. We're not turning them enough. Everything that we're doing at the moment, what was different in this first half, we're playing everything in front of them. They're happy just to be doing that. They've got experienced lads at the back who are happy just to come and, as you've seen there, just to come and win everything. If you play it in short, they'll come through you.
Dawson winning it on halfway. Wolves throw inside their own half. It's that element of, there was a moment ago where Neto had it wide and he was pointing and trying to show to Semedo. There's Ait Nouri driving on and driving all the way through the middle here, and he's fouled, and Wolves get a free kick in a very dangerous position. 25 yards out, just to the left of centre as you look towards goal. It was a fabulous run by Ryan Ait Nouri.
Well, the biggest problems that West Ham have had is when Wolves players have been running at them. We saw from the goal from Dendoncker. If you run at them, that causes them big problems. But at the moment, in this second half, we haven't really done it enough for me. I think the two wide lads need to do a little bit more. Just have a gamble with it. Just try and get at them. Either deliver it in there or get behind them or run at them. But they've just got to try and think about what they can do to hurt this West Ham defence.
65.5 minutes played. Ruben Neves stood over the free kick. Players waiting to chase in. It'll be Neves who plays it short here to Neto, who tries to whip it left-footed first time. And it was high and wide and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was well worked free kick. Short one, everybody thought Neves, but just come off Neto. Again, he was disappointed that he didn't hit the target with it.
Ben Johnson coming on for Arthur Masuaku. I think Johnson may well go into the centre, and Cresswell will come to the left-hand side. A conversation between the two. May well stick as they are for the time being. No one came across to check whether that's what the instruction was.
No, yeah, I think Johnson's just playing on this left-hand side, isn't he?
66.5 minutes played. Here's Neto. As I was saying, Neto had that ball on the right-hand side and he was pointing and willing Semedo to come forwards and run on the outside of him and show that little bit more intensity.
Yeah, but as I've said before, so runners make you pass the ball. So look, if you're standing still, that's when the hesitation comes. Because that second makes a massive difference on the delivery and where you can go as well.
Semedo into Neto, who miscontrolled. Cresswell to put his foot through it and launch it forwards for Bowen to chase, but it'll go out of play for a Wolves throw. Kilman on ball boy duty, straight to Saiz, who threw it in quickly to Patricio. Leaves it for Cody. To the left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. Field to Ruben Neves. Looking downfield, not a lot in front of him moving. Only William Jose had shown. Then Donker finding Neto. Neto turning and trying to lift one forwards, and it's a lovely ball to Fabio Silva into the penalty area and into the bottom corner. What a lovely finish from Fabio Silva. And Wolves are right back in this now. It's a stunning pass by Pedro Neto to release Fabio Silva, who strode into the penalty area and found the bottom corner delightfully. Wolves 2, West Ham 3. Really is game on here at Molineux.
Well, that's what I said. If you got runners going ahead of you and you got the ability that they've got, they'll pick the pass out. And that's been the problem in this second half. Been quite static, but you saw Silva there, just getting on the shoulder. Good first touch. And it's a great finish. It's a good finish. But that's what we need. We need runners in front of them because that's what they'll do. They'll pick that pass out. They'll pick that player out to get the ball to. And they're back in this game now.
Well, they were preparing a change as well, with Vitinha was stripped and ready to come on. He's put a bib back on and gone back out to warm up again.
I just think they've got to do more of that. They've got to have more movement up front because there's players in this team that can pick that pass out over various ranges and distances. And that's what they've got to do. If you see somebody running, 9 times out of 10, that ball will come across to you.
Fabio Silva's third goal of his Wolves career.
Good finish.
28th appearance, only the second, of course, from open play. Second here at Molineux as well. It's Pedro Neto. Real credit to him for a lovely ball over the top.
It was a great ball. It was a great ball, but again, it comes from runners in front. Got to do it as soon as you see it.
There's Semedo. Back to Connor Cody, just inside his own half. To Semedo again. We have still 20 minutes left to play. Absolute bonkers game that this has been.
So it's been the first half. So like, loads of chances from both teams. Not so much in this second half, but again, we've got that second goal.
Traore onto Aït-Nouri, left-hand side of the penalty area, firing across in. It'll come back to him from Fabianski, safe, and it might come through to Dendoncker to strike it. And he struck it high over the top of the crossbar.
Oh, he's gone for power, hasn't he? He's gone for power. And he's done the right thing, but he's got to hit the target. He's got to hit the target there.
Would have been suspicions of offside on Aït-Nouri. Not the second time, and when it came back to Dendoncker, just got to get his head over the ball and drive.
He's just got to hit the target. Just got to hit the target.
And we are going to see Vitinha coming on. I wonder who for at this stage. Wolves have got plenty of attackers out there already. They are 3-2 down. And arguably, it should be about 5-3 up on the balance of the chances they've created.
I was going to say, it's been, so like the first half especially, so it was a great game to watch with the opportunities. Unfortunately, Wolves are losing, but there's been opportunities for both sides. Just got to keep going now. So there's still plenty of time. Is it 20 minutes left plus injury?
I can't believe Carl Ikeme thought it was going to be 1-0. What a crazy prediction.
Who would ever do that prediction, eh?
There's Cody trying to lift it forwards. Fabio Silva giving chase. You can hear Steve Bull in the background shouting encouragement.
Oh, that was the kind of ball that he used to love, though. That ball over the top.
It's Willian Jose who will be replaced for Vitinha to come on.
Well, he's had a good spell with his international team, hasn't he?
So Fabio Silva through the middle. And I imagine Neto on the right, Traore on the left, and Vitor Ferreira, aka Vitinha, in the number 10 role. Oh, as I mentioned, has been in form for his country.
Yeah, he has. He's done well, hasn't he? Done well.
Up to 10 caps for Portugal under 21s now. There is Issa Diop. 72 minutes played. Wolves 2, West Ham 3.
Just got to keep it tight at the back. Keep it tight because I think they'll get other opportunities.
Here come West Ham again down the right-hand side, though. Kufal being tracked by Aït-Nouri. Forced away from goal a little bit. Still has it, though, and Aït-Nouri stuck with him. Just about managed to find Bowen out on the touchline. Aït-Nouri with a foot in. West Ham have managed to win it back, and it's Bowen driving on, but Neves got a foot to the ball, and Saiz saves it from going behind, and then Kufal with a shove in the back of Aït-Nouri.
Yeah, he has to give it that way.
Giving the throw instead to West Ham.
He looked to foul, didn't he? He looked to foul. I know it's over the other side from us, but he looked to foul.
West Ham's throw. Bowen back to Kufal. To Bowen again, trying to work it. He's managed to get it to Kufal, who lifts his cross in towards the near post and away by Dendoncker. Back out towards the touchline. Traore let it bounce, and that means that it went over his head for a West Ham throw. Needed to come and control that, Adama Traore.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting spell now for West Ham. Starting to inject a little bit of pressure. Oof.
Throw into the penalty area, and Bowen had actually made an excellent run, and thankfully he just lost his footing.
I was going to say, he just fell over as it fell backwards, didn't it?
Yeah. There is Saiz. We have 73.5 minutes played. Saiz carrying it forwards and looking to hit a long straight diagonal towards Pedro Neto, but over the top of him and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, but that's what you got to do. I think that's going to be the thing that you got to do. It's got to be better quality up to him. I think that, but I think that's what you got to do. You got to try and turn this West Ham defence. You've got the legs on them.
Rich Frampton agrees with our comment before. Says need to get some urgency, like if there was 1 minute left.
Yeah. We've got themselves back into the game now. Another goal.
Use the hashtag Wolves Live if you want to get in touch and have your say. Social media and on the live chat on the Wolves YouTube channel.
Just got to be careful that Wolves at West Ham don't try and kill the game a little bit. Stop and start, throw-ins, free kicks. Got to try and get some momentum back into this second half. Still plenty of time.
Stephen Davis says, bring on Bully. Not sure his knees would hold up to it
I don't think so either. So it'd be a problem.
There's Semedo on the right. Should be a Wolves throw. It is.
It is a Wolves throw. Fennells, I think it come off, didn't it?
Taken quickly by Semedo for Neto into the centre circle to Neves. West Ham might be preparing another change as Aït-Nouri goes infield to Vitinha. Vitinha on the turn, finding Cody inside the West Ham half to Neto, just 10 yards ahead of him. Infield to Vitinha. He looks more urgent and pressing. Finds Semedo to Neto. Back again on the overlap. Semedo's cross. Looked like it hit the hand of Johnson. It was outside the penalty area anyway and was probably accidental. West Ham allowed to play on. Cresswell infield to Noble. He'll go back to the keeper, but Fabio Silva was closing in and Fabianski did well to work it to his right-hand side to Diop. Diop carrying it forwards. Intercepted though by Saiz. A good first time pass to Fabio Silva. though he waited a touch too long. Souček got back to him. Noble now finding Johnson on the left for West Ham. Infield to Noble again, wide for Cresswell, midway inside the Wolves half, just ahead of it, trying to lift it into the box, but comfortable for Rui Patricio.
Yeah, well, this is opportunity now. So West Ham have pushed players forward. Oh, Neto's absolutely fuming. Wanted that ball early, and rightfully so. He's made the run.
Vitinha finding Semedo, leaves it for Neto. Infield to Vitinha again. Now finding Ruben Neves just ahead of the centre circle, through the middle of the West Ham half, looking towards the Wolves' right, out to the feet of Neto. Semedo is already ahead of him. Neves infield to Vitinha. Vitinha twisting and turning and trying to find a route through. Out to Semedo, wide out to Neto. Back to Ruben Neves. West Ham have got so many claret and blue shirts back deep in their own half. Neves played a lovely ball wide to Aït-Nouri. But West Ham are just shifting across and moving out the penalty area.
Yeah. Going to have somebody who's going to either run with it, or you're going to have to get some kind of...
Saïs's cross, it nearly dropped. It comes to Neto, and Neto again swipes at the ball and gets massively underneath it and sends it high into the south bank.
Yeah, he's not had his shooting boots on tonight, has he, Neto? He's had 3 chances. He's had that one in that first half, wasn't he? And one in Jose. He's had a couple in this second half. Just hasn't been able to hit the target.
Saïd Benrahma coming on for Pablo Fornals as West Ham make their third and final change. Benrahma will play on the left. Lingard looks to be through the middle. Bowen to the right for West Ham at the minute. As Wolves are pressing to try and find an equaliser. From 3-0 down, remember. Bowen chasing forward. Saïs there first. Hooked it over his head and Aït-Nouri collects. Just about gets away from Bowen and goes back to Saïs. 12 minutes of normal time left to play. You wouldn't rule out more drama just yet.
No. From either team, so look the way that they're playing.
West Ham have offered a lot less in the second half than they did in the first in terms of goal-bound action. That disallowed goal for Souček when it hit his arm. They've had 2 efforts on goal in the second half. They had 7 in the first. Wolves have had 19 in total in the game. West Ham have a problem here. Souček down. Yeah. They've already made all their subs. They will have to check on him. If they have to go down to 10 men.
Well, he's had to take his boot off and he's rolled his sock down.
It's an opportunity for 1 or 2 players to come across and get a drink. Fabio Silva has done just that. A couple of West Ham players too. Pedro Neto will come over for refreshment. Wolves have forced their way back into the game. Arguably, they should never have been 3-0 down in. They are pushing to try and get something.
But we've touched on it again, that just that little, in this last, was it 12 minutes or so, just some more urgency in that top half of the pitch.
Yeah, just to try it. It is a frustrating thing. And it's happened in a couple of games where you just kind of feel, just go for it. And if there was a crowd in, talk about the difference that Molineux, the passionate Molineux can make.
Well, the roar, wouldn't it? There'd be a roar for the crowd getting behind. But it's just about just trying to get into that top third again. And as we saw from the goal there from Silva, if you got runners, if you got movement in front of you, we've got players in this team that'll pick out the pass. They'll be able to find you, as Neto did with him. But you just got to be moving. So look, there's times in this second half where we've been quite static up against the back line of West Ham, and it's been easy for them because they're happy just for you to play in front of them. It's when you start to turn them or when you're running with the ball, because I don't think Traore's really had a run in this second half. We want to see more of that, what he did in that first half for the Dendoncker goal.
I think there might be some new socks needed for Thomas Souček.
He's laddered his sock, has he? Or...
Potentially. So they are Just getting that situation sorted. It's Wolves 2, West Ham 3. Main match sponsor for tonight is Molson Coors. And reminder for you, by the way, that the coverage of the women's game yesterday marked kind of the end of a wonderful initiative, One Pack Week. It's well worth checking out on the Wolves app at wolves.co.uk for some of the fascinating content that went on. It was an incredible round table hosted by Hugh Wizencroft of TalkSport. It was out on Friday, tackling a huge topic in football and society, racism, showcasing 4 incredibly articulate and impressive coaches from our very own academy. Filmed at the Grand Theatre, which was the venue for Old Gold Club Live, which feels like an awful long time ago now.
Say, when was that? That is a long time ago, wasn't it? Is that 2019 or something? Yeah. Wow. I was going to say, doesn't time fly when you're having fun, but it's lockdown's not been that much fun, has it?
Here is Neves for Saiz. Now to Vitinha. Trying to switch the play out towards Semedo, who's just about kept it in, back towards halfway. Now for Cody. Semedo back to Cody again, and he's tried to stand it forwards towards Neto. Cresswell's clearance.
Oh, I've got to get up.
It's going to come to Noble, to Benrahma, on towards Lingard. He's allowed to turn, but Neves got back to him.
Well, Lingard just tried to put it between Neves' legs there, just tried to nutmeg him. I think he read it a little bit, Neves, but again, so just watching it there, you can see what West Ham are like. They've got a flat 5 there. Got to try and move them around. Got to try and do something. We need people like Neto and Traore to do that.
Here comes Traore. Semedo. Now Neto to lift it in. Vitinha had made the run, and he tried to just help it on its way.
It's unlucky. It's unlucky. Good run in there. But just keep putting the ball in there. Just try and find your player. That's what they've got to keep doing. Just putting it into that danger area. You never know. It could just ricochet or rebound or fall to one of the Wolves players.
Wolves 2, West Ham 3. Noble's header forwards. Flicked in field. Brought down by Dendoncker. Now Neves. Trying to lift it on towards Neto. Intercepted by Johnson, though. Johnson up towards halfway. Blocked off by Dendoncker. But just at the worst period here, Wolves need to get the hold of the ball again.
Well, they've got to try and build up some momentum somehow. So West Ham are in no rush to do anything. As I said, they'll be happy just to stop and start the game. So it doesn't allow Wolves to get any foot into the game. They'll be happy just to sit in it. They've got the lead. They'll want to hang on to it now.
It's Vitinha. Trying to play the ball forwards to Fabio Silva. Couldn't hold on to it. Dawson. Rather strange agricultural clearance. Ain't Nouri. Lovely turn on halfway and trying to drive into the West Ham half again. Rather ran into Noble, though. Did everything right until that final moment. Sums up a lot of what's happened for Wolves tonight.
Yeah. Again, so like Lingard just using experience there. Just running into the corner or out wide. I think he's just caught him on his heel, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's down, but off the field at the moment, Jesse Lingard. I think he will get to his feet. Closing in on the final 5 minutes.
It's just accidental. He's just caught him as he's running.
5 minutes plus time to be added on.
Well, you'd be hoping that we'd have one really good chance left in this game. Just got to defend this.
West Ham are sending Souček, Diop and Dawson into the penalty area.
I think they're a bit reluctant to start with because he's took his time coming up, Dawson.
Cresswell and Kufal stood over the ball. It'll be Cresswell left-footed, whipped in from the right, headed away by Semedo at the near post. at the expense of a throw less than 10 yards from the right-hand corner flag for West Ham.
Yeah, as I said, there'll be no rush West Ham. Got to try and create something. I know Traore's trying to help out his defence, but at this stage of the game, I think I'd tell him just to have a gamble, get up the field, get up there.
Patricio to Cody. Neves had dropped deep to pick up the ball. So Vitinha, back to Neves, base of the centre circle. Looked right, turns and plays it left to Nori on halfway. Now back in field to Saiz. It's just allowed West Ham to get back into their shape and positions. Right to the right hand side to Semedo. Barely seen Traore in the last 10 minutes or so.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. And you can always tell the way that we're doing in attack if Traore is in the game.
Saiz tried to find him, but overhit the pass. Traore is quick, but not that quick.
No. Well, we're making another change, I think.
To see who has been called back and prepared. Maybe Morgan Gibbs-White is walking back. Can't see anybody else yet.
Somebody just run down. I didn't see who it was.
Underneath us at the minute as Pedro Neto has it. Just behind Fabio Silva. All the way through to the keeper.
Yeah, just tried to force it, didn't he? Trying to get that pass.
Nuno pondering things down there.
It's Hoover coming on.
Be an interesting change.
Yeah. Oh, it's come off the back of his head.
That's going to be a West Ham throw. That's the annoyance of quite a few in gold.
Yeah, I think it came off the back of the head of Johnson, I think it was.
2.5 minutes to play at Molineux. Wolves still trying to find this equaliser. They aren't really getting close enough to the West Ham goal at the moment.
No, they're going to have a gamble. They're going to have to try and get it up there.
Saiz.
I know we're keeping possession of the ball, but I think that we just got to go forward a little bit quicker for me. Got to try and get the ball up there.
Neto back to Cody, into Neves in the centre circle, looking left, finds Saiz just on halfway, midway between the touchline and centre circle. Vitinha has come short. Vitinha fancies a little dribble, now finds Traore on the touchline. Traore back in field to Vitinha, constantly on the move, the little man. Finds Neves, out to the right-hand side to Semedo. Semedo with two players closing in on him. Has to play it backwards to Cody.
Oh, go forward. We've got to try and get that option going forward.
Vitinha for Cody. Trying to lift it down the line towards Semedo. Headed away by Johnson. Flicked on by Souček. And he'll find its way to Lingard. Blocked by Cody.
Yeah.
West Ham wanted a free kick. Michael Oliver said it hit his face or
give it out.
Oh, chest.
Give it Traore.
Saiz found Fabio Silva. Backwards to Nori. Wide out to the touchline to Traore. He's facing his own goal with players tight behind him, not where he wants to be. Neves with a 1-2 with Saiz. It's got to come right. First of all to Cody. It was a little bit wider than he wanted to be. He leaves it for Neto. Neto being shown in field by Benrahma, has to go back to Cody. Infield to Neves. We're into the final minute of the 90 here at Molineux. Neves out to the left-hand side to Traore. Nori is ahead of him. Traore skips away from one challenge. 10 yards from the corner flag, cutting back onto his right foot, whipping his cross in, headed away at the near post. Neves trying to bring it down, and the challenge came in. And West Ham get themselves a free kick as Neves desperately tried to get to the ball. I think it was Noble who just got there ahead of him and then dropped down and wins West Ham a free kick. Nori coming off for Hoover.
Yeah, so I think that we've just got to try and look 4 minutes. We've got to try and look forward a little bit quicker for me. It's 4 minutes left again, something. Got to be having a gamble just to go forward a little bit quicker.
4 minutes to save
just
something.
taking his time. Nuno's not happy. But got to be positive. Have a gamble. Try and get that goal.
Dendoncker infield for Vitinha, surely being held there by Souček, and he will get a yellow card.
Oh, he's just kicked the ball as well. He didn't see it because he was too busy booking the other West Ham player.
Wolves have got on with things while Michael Oliver is putting his pen away.
The important things, eh?
And it was Lingard and Neves were pretty much the only two players on the pitch who were playing on there. And Saiss and Cody are going forward. So actually, Michael Oliver might have done Wolves a favour here. Neves now can just launch it in the direction of Dendoncker, who got a touch to it. Away by Kufal, hoofed clear by Souček. Semedo's header forwards. Noble holding on to possession. Blocked off by Dendoncker. Here's Traoré. Infield to Fabio Silva. Back to Traoré. Lines up a shot. It was read by Diop, who got out to block it. And the rebound has found its way to Lingard. And West Ham can try and drive over the halfway line with 1:30 of the 4 minutes being added on already played. And they are heading towards the corner flag here, the Hammers. Lingard trying to get away from Cody, right by the corner flag, and that's come off Cody and will be a West Ham throw.
Yeah, he's just looking at that shot from Traoré. The ball could have gone absolutely anywhere when it was blocked, and it just fell to the feet of Lingard, didn't it? I think he's going to do well to get this out to the corner now. There'll be no rush.
Still 2 minutes left to play. Wolves haven't really crafted a chance since getting it back to 3-2. And Johnson threatened to run in the box and then turned and went straight back to the corner flag and fired it off Cody for another West Ham throw. And they've eaten up a good minute or so already down there.
Yeah.
Now Neto picked up a spare ball, gave it to Johnson, who dropped it. To Lingard, I should say, who dropped it. Michael Oliver just telling him off, but nothing more. Lingard now he's going to get a yellow card for time wasting and throws it short. Wolves trying to get bodies in there. Semedo trying to win it. Eventually it's dug out and cleared, but Wolves are a long way forwards and Souček heading it out of play. It'll be a Wolves throw.
And he's kicked the ball away again. He wasn't even watching. That's twice Martin Oliver's missed stop where players have kicked it away. Noble did it minutes ago as well.
Into the final minute of the minimum 4 being added on. It's now or never territory as Neves launched it forward. Saiss with a flick on. Traoré giving chase and Diop putting it behind for a Wolves corner. They couldn't, could they?
Oh, well, opportunity here. Just need that quality in there. Just push everybody up, have a gamble, get it in the box. Can they get that equaliser?
Neto to take it. Traore's in there. Vitinha's in there. Plenty are in there. Oh. Neto to the near post, cleared away by Bowen. Hoover. Here's Vitinha. We still have 15 seconds left. Hoover wide to Neto on the left-hand side. Closed down by Bowen. Couldn't get the ball from under his feet to Hoover. Infield to Vitinha. Vitinha's launched it into the area, but straight into the arms of the waiting Fabianski. And that may well be that.
I think that's it done. Yeah, well, Lingard's gone down as well, hasn't he?
Well, Fabianski threw the ball out of play because Lingard was down. But we are merely moments away from Michael Oliver blowing the final whistle. Wolves questioning whether they should have given the ball back. West Ham are fuming. Well, still we play on here.
I'm sorry, but Fabianski threw it out of play because they know that there was going to waste time.
8-0. It's Hoover. Was he fouled? Referee blows the final whistle. And an entertaining game, but ultimately a defeat for Wolverhampton Wanderers. 3-0 down inside the first 38 minutes of the game. Goals from Lingard, Fornals and Bowen gave West Ham the advantage. Dendoncker got one back before the break, his first of the season. Fabio Silva struck his third of the campaign in the second half to give the old Gold some hope in the second period, but it wasn't to be. And Wolves are beaten by 3-2, and the players are all beginning to swarm around inside the half closest to the North Bank here as tempers have begun to flare at the end of the match because of not giving the ball back right at the end there. I think Jesse Lingard might have had one or two things to say, but it's all calming down. Wolves crafted some great opportunities in the game. They attacked really well, but they were made to pay for some defensive errors in the first period, and they get nothing from this game. Wolves 2, West Ham 3.
Yeah, so I could just echo what you just said there. I think that first half was the big blow to them. So like giving away those 3 goals such early on there just allowed West Ham too much time and space in that first half to counter-attack against them. Got punished for it. Showed some spirit coming back to get 2 goals, but just a little bit too much for them, unfortunately. But they've got to learn from it. If you're playing that forward at the back, so like, you've got to learn from it. You can't afford to not be picking up when you even in possession of the ball. You've got to be careful. As West Ham there exploited everything that they could do and got those 3 goals. So they'll be disappointed, but at least they've got those 2 goals and they got back into it. Looked promising in that first half. Never really threatened in that second half, but as I said, they'll be disappointed with the results.
Yep, there'll be more from Andy Thompson to come. We'll also hear from Carl Ikeme and from Dave Edwards very shortly here on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra as we try and make sense of what we've seen here at Molineux tonight. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money can't buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Full time here at Molineux. It finished Wolves 2, West Ham 3. I've just knocked over a massive drink, which is heading towards our laptop. So bear with us just a moment here at Molineux. We'll get the thoughts of Dave Edwards and Carl Ikeme in just a second. Frustration for Wolves here, who had some really good opportunities and will feel like they should have got something more from the game. It was not to be, and the post-mortem will go on as to the team selection and more. Let's hear from Carl Ikeme. First of all, what did you make of that in the end?
You can't concede 3 goals in any game and expect anything to get anything from it, really. I think the second half we sort of huffed and puffed, but didn't really create many opportunities. I thought Fabio took his goal brilliantly, but I felt like we didn't get Neto and Traore running at the West Ham defence more towards their 18-yard line. And ultimately, it was the first half that kind of cost us. So disappointing to concede 3 goals the way we did, with Johnny being out as well. It's a huge miss, and with Bolly not being able to play, it's disappointing. It's disappointing, but there were a few positives to take from the game. Obviously, scoring 2 as well. Fabio scoring his goal and Pedence coming back, but obviously disappointed with the sort of first half display. Looks like Mikey's gone in it, so I'm hosting. What's your thoughts, Edo?
Nice games.
It's better, for the better. I'm taking his role. What did you think?
Let's get rid of the deadwood, shall we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what do you think, mate?
No, pretty much the same as you. I think in general, it's just been a really bad night, bad day for Wolves. The news of Johnny obviously was really disappointing coming into the game. Willie Bolly going to miss probably a couple of weeks as well now. Hopefully Martino's not too bad. And then back that up with that first 20 minutes, half an hour. That set the tone for the rest of the evening. And it's bitterly disappointing to start like that. They gave themselves too much to do. A lot better second half, but I always felt the West Ham were comfortable. They never really looked like they were that much in trouble. And they also looked like they had chances themselves if they were a little bit better decision making on the counter attack. So the 1+ really is for Fabio Silva to get his goal. Thought he took that really well. Lovely ball by Neto, good first touch, and that was a finish of a striker who was feeling confident, not what we was expecting from Fabio Silva. But yeah, it's great for him, but too little, too late for Wolves. It's been a tough day.
Kind of felt there's also added that the ball's coming in the box from a lot deeper in the second half, and it's always a little bit harder for players running onto it to really get a shot on target as well.
Yeah, it's a nightmare when you are playing against a team who are defending that low block and holding on to their lead, especially with a back five. Wolves do it so well. They force crosses from deeper because they can't get around the back of the fullbacks or wing backs because they're that sort of solid. So it was always going to be difficult, and even more so when they took Willian Jose off, who was quiet in the second half. But once he went off, they had no height really in the box for those deeper crosses. So it was always going to be difficult, and it just didn't seem that they had that little bit of a spark in and around the box where they just needed something quick to happen, whether it was a little bit of interplay or someone themselves going and taking someone on. It was all, like you said at the start, huff and puff without really the quality needed, apart from obviously Fabio Silva's one goal.
It was strange, wasn't it, boys? Because actually, they created some really good opportunities tonight, apart from when it got to 3-2, when you really wanted them to go for it, Tomo. It didn't quite happen then.
No, it didn't. So, look, West Ham started to defend a little bit deeper. So, just keeping that back line of 5 made it difficult for Wolves to get behind them. So, look, but we saw there, so if you've got runners in front of the ball or the person with the ball, so it makes it easier for them. So, we got that Silva goal with him making that run and Neto picking out the pass. But you've got to try and get behind them. You've got to try and put the balls in from those areas where you are behind the defence, because it's a lot easier for the strikers then to be running onto. So we started to play the ball a lot, for me, just in front of the West Ham, and they were happy just defending it because all they were doing was shuffling across, made it easy for them to just keep their units and just keep that line of defenders and the midfield lads in front of them. But look, that first half was exciting. So look, unfortunately, we conceded 3 goals, which were poor defending. But I just think that we just went off. I think that we've got to, and it just didn't happen in that second half.
They obviously lost a couple of key players. In some cases, very short notice before this game. They don't have a lot of time now, Keems, to get themselves ready for Friday. What do you think Nuno will be thinking between now and then? Because he's gone to the 4 tonight. And you boys were saying at half-time, there were some real defensive issues that can't be forgotten despite Wolves' good attacking play this evening. So that age-old debate that you hate will rage in the next couple of days.
Yeah, but I think with Moutinho being out as well, it was a decision that he kind of had to make. Unless he played one of the younger boys in midfield, then Dunker would have normally played in the 3 with maybe Sace and Code. So I think it was kind of, his hand was kind of forced in that sense to go for the 4. Even though we did look really exciting in the first half with Podence on the pitch, especially I think he made West Ham think a lot more. He gave Neto and Traore an opportunity to get higher up the pitch, and it really worked first half going forward, but going back coming and the defensive and especially transition, it didn't work. So I feel that he might not have no choice to continue with the 4 just because of personnel, possibly. But it's about, for me, there's a lot of positives in the 4, but obviously there are negatives. But if we can work on them negatives a lot more, I do think we do create a lot going forward, which you don't create in the wing back system. But ultimately, we've not picked up results when we played the 4 really, and we've not been good enough defensively. And if you can't defend in these games, you're not going to get results.
I mean, that's the point, though, I guess, Dave Edwards said there will be a couple more days now to work on this. They probably didn't have time to work on it for today, but it might be different come Friday.
Yeah, for me personally, I think that system needs another pre-season and some more recruitment, I think, in the summer to fill the gaps in the right way. I think at the moment they're just trying to fit players into that system who aren't used to it, and it needs a lot more work, more than what they can do in 2 days on the training pitch. They've tried it a few times. They've always gone back to 3 at the back because that's what has got them results, and I fully expect them to probably go to, is it Fulham next up, that if they go there and maybe bring Max Kilman in, left side of the 3, or even on the right side, and Saiss. I'm sure they'll try and work it that way, especially away from home as well. I think at the moment they look so vulnerable when they play 4 at the back. And Nuno as a manager and tactically how he is, he's not going to want him to play that end-to-end basketball sort of football. That's not him. It's all about building up slowly, looking for teams' weaknesses and then exploiting them. It's not, we'll have a go, you have a go. That's not how his coaching philosophy is. So unless they can get to the summer, I think playing 3 or 5 at the back, however you want to put it, and then really go to work at it in the summer. And I think they'll need a few more faces in there to make it work as well.
Final thought, Tomo, Fulham on Friday. It becomes quite an interesting game because Fulham will be thinking if they can get 3 points over Wolves, they might just drag us into it and make us a little bit nervous. So they've got to go there and aim to get something from the game on Friday.
Yes, they have. I think the games coming up are going to be important because the teams that are below them are going to be thinking, hang on a minute, we've got an opportunity here to get some points. Wolves aren't in great form. They're conceding goals. But look, I've got confidence in this squad, in this team, that we can get a result on Friday. But look, they've just got to make sure that they don't throw it away and concede goals to Fulham, because I know that Fulham are a good side. They've picked up a little bit as well. And they'll be looking at above them thinking, hang on a minute, there's a few teams up there who could be dragged down with us. And with the win of West Brom at the weekend as well. So it's gonna be interesting. But look, it's in Wolves' hands. It's in Wolves' own hands. They've got to make sure that they go out there. And now they've had a blow tonight with 3 players being having to pull out because of various reasons. But they've just got to go there with the belief that they can, one, keep a clean sheet and also as well score. They scored 2 tonight against a very good West Ham side. And they've just got to believe that. The first half created chances, which was promising, but they've got to be more clinical. They've got to take those chances, especially against the teams that are coming up against in the next few weeks.
Oh, thanks.
I think it's a blow on and off the pitch. I think that's what I think as well. I think that's why it's an important week with Johnny getting a severe injury. That it's going to be the lads are going to be feeling as well. Nuno's going to be frustrated, thinking that what's going on with the season and injuries. So I think it's as important it is tactically on the pitch. I think it's important to get the lads up and back going and not let the season kind of peter out.
Well, the reaction from Nuno will be available at wolves.co.uk. And my thanks to Carl Ikeme, Dave Edwards. Great to see you again, my friend.
Thanks,
and Andy Thompson as well. Fabio fired, but Wolves left themselves far too much to do to get something from this game. Enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you from Fulham.